Now I think we're live on all the channels.
Wow. Okay. Should I like I won't I can't see like
What?
any comments or anything?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I mean, you can open up another browser window to do the comments. So, like when I'm on the line and when I'm on the Atheist Experience and whatnot, I open up a separate window uh, in my browser to watch the comments, or in another browser.
Okay, let's see if I can do that. Okay. What? I don't want
Okay, we're gonna be live on TikTok now. Now we're live everywhere.
that. Amazing.
So we've got 4 streams open. Let me. I'm gonna open up my GPU monitor to make sure we're not like overloading and end up crashing halfway through the stream. But I think we're okay. Welcome in, friends. Holy smokes! It's Saturday night. We've got a special treat. We've got a special stream with Leaving Faith and Deconstruction Zone. We're talking about our favorite topic, hell. Sarah, for
Indeed,
those who
we
don't know your
are.
background, can you help people understand like how hell aided in your deconstruction?
Yeah, definitely. It was one of like it was the first domino to fall for me. You know, I started really reconsidering things when I actually lost someone close to me who at the time I believed didn't like meet the criteria for heaven. And so then I had to consider, okay, is it really reasonable that he would be suffering in hell forever and ever and ever? And so that was what kind of started my deconstruction process.
Yeah. When I was a kid, we kind of people tell us that like hell is for bad people.
Right.
But the reality is the Christian doctrine, if you drill down on it, hell is just for people who don't believe. Whether you're
Yep.
bad or good is irrelevant.
Right. And what you have to end up believing is that every single human is terrible. And then it's okay. And then it's justified. But in reality, I think it's easy for us to believe that about ourselves
Hmm.
sometimes. You know, like
Hmm.
we can be really hard on ourselves, but believing that about someone you know and love, you're like, I don't think that person's actually evil. Like, I don't think they actually deserve that.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. All right, friends, I think we've got everything up and running. We've got one guest waiting to get in, so we'll grab them. I've got a couple super chats already. If you're watching on my stream and you're not following Sarah at Leaving Faith, go to the YouTube video where it shows the comment or the title of the video. Click on her profile and drop her a follow. And if you send a super chat on her channel, it will get displayed on all the channels. So you don't have to super chat me. You can super chat share it. In fact, I implore you to send super chats to their, their channel.
That's very kind. And I'm trying to, oh, wait. If I look distracted in the moment, I'm trying to figure out how to see my own comments while we're. Uh, for anyone who doesn't know, Justin is like a whiz with figuring out all the electronic stuff, and I am the opposite of that. So I'm figuring it out, but yay.
I believe in you. I believe in you. All right, friends, let's get CJ into the conversation. And CJ is gonna be on the YouTube queue, and then we've got one person waiting to get in on the TikTok queue after that, and then I'm sure people will be loading up as we get rolling here, and I'm gonna add them to the conversation. We're going. We should be able to hear and see TJ. TJ, welcome in. Are you at least 18? And do you believe in hell?
Yes, I'm 25 years old, and I believe in these.
Oh, didn't last very
do,
long.
do we lose him?
Yep, lost. He's gone.
Oh,
Poof.
weird. Okay.
Just lost his connection.
Aw, well, that's a bummer.
Oh, sorry, CJ. I'm sure it would have been a delightful conversation. Oh boy. Okay then. Well, I guess we'll move on to our next guest. Maybe we'll give CJ a moment to reconnect. If not, we'll just grab our guest from TikTok. Hoping Mega, good to see you tonight. Says Ruby makes a great backdrop. Can't wait for Christians to crash out with this power duo. Rock hard for Doug, Simple for Sharon, and Whores Rule. Well, it's good to see you, Hoping Mega. Where is Ruby? Is Ruby napping?
Yeah, she's on the couch. Yeah, she's
Okay.
enjoying the Christmas tree lights at the moment.
Oh, how sweet. And Drew, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says insert inappropriately sassy super chat here. Oh boy. All right, let's get Ash shoot. Well, we'll see if we can pronounce this later. How you doing, Ash?
Yo, don't you get fucked in your ass, you fucking homo?
Oh, this guy
Nasty ass fucking
again.
homo ass motherfucker.
He's
You
so
think I'm gonna listen
bitter.
to a homo ass like you?
He hate
Trying to tell me how to
watches.
live my life?
It just does nothing but hate watch atheist channels. Imagine being so bitter that you spend all your time hate watching atheist channels and then you just like come and crash out endlessly on other
That's
people's channels.
crazy.
Listen to a
You'll know them by
You,
their
bro.
fruits. You'll know them by their fruits.
Yeah, wait, is this person supposed to be a Christian?
Yeah, this is actually a Christian. He changes his name every live stream.
Wow, that's really sad.
Oh,
man.
and even TikTok already flagged him. Bye.
Wow.
Really did Jesus proud there, didn't he?
That's crazy.
Oh well. Are you a Christian now? Was that all it took to convert you?
Yes, I'm converted now. Thank
Oh,
goodness.
that was
Insults
easy.
and profanity was all it took.
What about what about that? Twist your scriptures. Thank you for the $5 super thanks, my friend. I appreciate it. All right, let's get Wesley in from the TikTok queue. I assume Wesley will be a little more level. Welcome in, Wesley.
Hey, thanks,
Wesley?
Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
Are you at least 18 and do you believe in hell?
Yeah, I turned 18 and whew, I'm 44, so I've been there. I still think like I'm 18 though.
Sure. Okay. And
And yeah, I do think there's what hell is. I think it's probably been commercialized. I don't know what the right word is, but I don't believe in a pitchfork red little devil down there by any means. But I do believe that there's a hell.
okay, that was our next question. What do you believe about hell?
Yeah, I am a Christian, and so the way I look at hell and is separation from God. So I believe like God is everything good in this world, and so when you die, you're not going to have anything that's good, and so He's not going to force you into a place that you don't want to be. So I look at hell as just anything that's not good. So you get that separation from our Creator. If that makes sense.
So you think that there are people who genuinely want to live eternally without anything good?
I don't think anyone wants to live without anything good. I don't know if anyone goes in their day to day and say, hey, just in life in general, right? And say, hey, I don't want anything good. Everyone wants good. I just look at it as He's given us a path to be able to be in His presence. And we can either join His house or we just say, hey, no, we don't want to be a part of it. I don't think you're going to be tortured in burning hell or anything like that. But I think you're just going to be separated at that point where you say, hey, you didn't want to hang out with me? That's fine. You just go in a different direction and it's not going to be with me.
So if it's just like a different direction, do you think it's maybe not that bad? Like maybe it's just kind of a neutral place and we all just kind of hang out? Or do you think it is going to be pretty terrible?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would think that it won't be great because with God is believing that God is the creator, and He created us all that's good, that if we don't have access to that good, I'm like, well, it's probably not going to be that great. I remember in the Bible, it said like, I remember reading one time in the Bible. I can't remember who it is. I'm not very good at scriptures and memorizing things, but I remember one of the people in the Bible that was in hell, like thirst for like water in a sense.
Hmm.
Didn't say, "Hey, I wanted to get out of hell." It was more of,
He pretty
I'm
much
thirsty.
did. Yeah. No, he
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was crying for help. He was being tortured.
Yeah, he wasn't having a
Uh,
good time.
Like
yeah,
he
but I
was
don't think it was.
begging for a drop of water. Like that's torture. He was being tortured.
I don't know if it's torture. I think that just the way I didn't read it that way. Maybe I just didn't read it right. But I read it as it is. It's a separation of God. So he's like, hey, I'm giving you a path. If you don't want to be with me, yeah, you're not going to give the fruits. You know, he talked about the fruits that I've been able to provide everybody. And if you want it, great. You know, follow my path. If you don't, yeah, you're just going to be separated from me.
Not to
So, but again,
distract.
that imagery, like if you are, have you ever been so thirsty that you would do anything for just a drop of water? Like have you ever been that thirsty?
I'm trying to think. That's a good question. I played basketball growing up, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, there's times. I grew up in Arizona too, where it's 120 degrees every day.
Right. I
Um,
mean, did you ever like go on a hike and you didn't bring enough water and you were
yeah,
stuck
yeah,
out
yeah. I
there
mean,
and
yeah,
you were like, "Oh my God, this is so
yes,
painful, I might die."
yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't think hell's going to be great by any means. I do think it's going to
Okay.
be uncomfortable. I don't think it's somewhere people would want to go to. Um, but
Okay.
that's why I'm like, hey, I'm putting my faith in the big guy.
Right. So you do think that it's going to be a place of eternal suffering.
I don't know. I
I
really
mean,
struggle with
being
this one.
desperate if you're desperate for a drop of water, you're definitely suffering.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I agree. But
Okay.
this is where
So
I really
eternal suffering.
I battle. I don't know if it's eternal. I don't know if it's eternal because I do think God is just. I do, and so I think that our brains, in a lot of ways, can't comprehend if God is real, which like I mentioned, I do believe, and He's a creator of everything. We can't. Our brains can't comprehend of what the afterlife is, in my opinion. And so, is it forever? Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I do want to know. Say, hey, if I'm going to make a bet, I'd rather be going one direction instead of the other, not take that chance of going in the wrong direction.
Okay, well, yeah, you've covered a couple different things here. So,
Yeah, yeah,
one,
yeah.
you
Sorry.
think that you think that we can't even really understand the afterlife. But at the same time, if we don't believe in your God, we are condemned to an afterlife of suffering. And that seems just to you?
I don't know. See, suffering is the big word that I look at there. I don't know what suffering looks like after we die. Suffering could
Well,
be that
who
we
cares
we
though? I
just
mean,
disintegrate, right?
well, no. So if we
Um,
just disintegrate, then we won't experience anything. So,
yeah, but not experience anything to me is terrible, right? To be able to say, hey, you had the decision, you had an option of living eternal life and having this beautiful life after death, or you experience nothing. Experience nothing, in my opinion, is torture in itself.
so you don't experience nothing. There is no experience left. I mean, it's like before you were born, right? You weren't suffering before you were born. And so now
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you're
you,
saying.
I think for a lot of people, we're actually completely okay with ceasing to exist. Not everybody desires living eternally, but the bigger point, what you keep framing this as is, hey, God's just given us a free choice. Choose one path or choose the other path. But in
Yes.
order to make those choices, you first have to believe that those two paths even exist, right? If I don't believe that your God exists at all, I don't even have the
Hmm.
option. Like, I can't, I can't follow your God and choose him if I genuinely don't think he's real.
Hmm.
So, how is it just for people who just don't think that he's real,
Yeah, that's a good question.
that
That's a
do
good
they
question.
go to
Yeah.
hell?
One, I'm not the decider of who goes to heaven or hell, by the way, but I would say, because there's a lot of people, right? There's that never even know who God is or have the chance of ever even knowing. There's people die at a very young age. There's people that never get to experience and have the choice to be able to know if there's a God or not. I would just go back to God is just. If God revealed and say, hey, gives you an option, and you chose, yeah, I see this way and I see this, but I think it differs from person to person, really does. And I think God is just, and
Okay,
so
so
he'll make the
God
right
will
decision at that
just
point.
like, so you think that people go to heaven or hell on like a one-on-one basis of like whether God thinks they should go or not? Like, is there people just, God says, well, they tried hard enough, they can come, or well, I didn't really give them a good enough chance, so I guess you can come. I mean, it if eternal suffering is at stake, the rules feel pretty wishy-washy.
Yeah, it's. Let me just make sure. Let me just take a second to understand what you're saying here.
Sure.
The if I do believe that there's a judgment day. I think that's what it comes down to. When we die, Jesus is, or I believe in Jesus, and I'm Christian, and God's going to say, hey, look, some people, I think it is going to be a case by case basis. And everyone has been had different lives, and but I think if people have been exposed to the Christian faith and saying, all right, yes, I see what this is. I'm going to turn. I don't believe in it. He's just going to give us what we're asking for. He's given us what. If you don't believe, he's given us what we're saying what we want. So
Well,
he's
no,
not
so
going to deny
that's
what we
not the
want.
case though. Like I cannot make myself believe. So if you tell me
Yeah.
a story, I will either be convinced it's true or I won't be convinced. But that part isn't a choice. And so you're framing it like it's a choice. Like if you tell me about Jesus and I don't believe in him, you're framing it as if I'm choosing not to believe in him. But that isn't the case. So just because someone hears the same story that you believe, that doesn't mean that they're choosing to not believe it. They just aren't, they don't happen to be convinced that it's true.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's how I used to think as well, in a way. And I'll tell you just what worked for me. That's not gonna work for everybody, obviously. I looked at the Bible and I looked at the stories, and I'm like, all right, I don't know. This is written by man, and blah. There's a lot of different things, and I was like, you know what? I don't know. Just so I prayed and like, hey, God, if you're real, just let me know, man. I was like, I don't know what to believe. I'm not that smart, and that's when the Holy Spirit and God came to me and spoke to me and said, hey, yeah, and follow me. And I'm like, all right. Ever since then, I was sitting up in my bedroom, and I've followed him ever since because he spoke to me and told me to follow him. So
Yeah, no,
I guess I
I
would
understand.
say open up my heart. Yeah. It wasn't about a story. It was just opening up my heart to say, hey, let me know if you're real. And he pointed me in that direction.
Right. So there are
Yeah.
however many of us who did that same thing, who asked God, we said, okay, hey, if you're here, please
Yeah.
reveal yourself. And he didn't.
Yep.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
we don't believe. And
Yep.
so it's not our fault. Like if we did the same thing you did and God came to
Yeah.
you, but God didn't come to us for whatever reason,
Yep. Yeah.
why should I have to go to hell for that and you go to heaven when you and I did the same thing and God showed up for you and he didn't show up for me?
Yeah, I would suggest that my story and how this happened to me, everybody has a different journey. I saw a guy yesterday at 90 years old, God spoke to him and said, hey, let's baptize and turned his life to God at 90 years old. Everybody has a different journey. And so
Right,
it
but
could be different
you
ways.
have to
Could be,
you have to
yeah,
acknowledge that people die without God showing up. Like that
yes.
does happen. So
Yep.
I'm talking about those people. So the people who
Yeah, yeah.
die and God never showed up. Why
Yep.
is it just that they go to heaven? I mean, that they go to hell, but you go to heaven?
Yeah. I believe that God will reveal himself in one way or the other. It's just keeping an open heart. I think it's really is keeping an open heart. And
So, but
if
you're
you never
ignoring.
turn
Wait, no,
over,
you're ignoring my
yeah, yeah.
comment. You're saying that it's like no, God did show up, but I'm saying people die without God showing up. What about those people?
Yeah, and with those people, if God didn't show up, God is just, and He's gonna be like, you know what? I never took the time, and I think he'll do what's right at that point. I don't think He's gonna say, oh, wait a second, I denied you, which, and I think I think when we die and we go to heaven or find out what's going on, I think we're going to be surprised who's in heaven and who's not. I think there's a lot of
So,
Christians that don't make it as well, by the way.
so it sounds like your God, who is all powerful and has designed everyone and knows the future, is going to say, well, actually, you're right. I didn't give you a fair shot. So why don't you just come on into heaven? And if
No.
that's the case, like what is the role of Jesus at all? Because the what you're describing, a judgment day and God kind of being fair about, how we lived our life. I mean, it really sounds like what you're actually saying is that you think God is going to make a judgment on heaven and hell based on how we lived our lives, how we treated other people, and if we tried. So which is it?
Kind of, but not. Let me just maybe rephrase it a little bit. One, I don't know how God's going to judge us at the end of the day. Of like the ones that weren't exposed to the Bible or exposed to God in some whatever fashion, right? I do believe there's people on, those people on the island that never even see civilization outside, never have seen a phone or anything else. Yeah. I don't know how God's going to judge those people.
So it's possible that God is going to judge those people based on works. Like, I mean, that would mean that you don't actually have to accept Jesus in order to get to heaven. Or like, are there works, like if they never hear about Jesus, are their works going to be good enough to get them in? Or
I don't
is
think
God
any-
going to just
yeah, yeah.
waive the rules?
No, I don't think works get us into heaven by any means. I think
So
we're
how is
all
he going to let
sinners.
those people in?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how he's going to judge the ones that haven't found have gotten to know Jesus or God. And I really don't know. I do
Yeah.
know that, for my opinion, the ones that have been exposed to him, that if we deny him, he's going to deny us. That's the way I look at it.
Well,
Case by case, I don't know.
okay, so when you say deny him, like that, I know that
Yes.
phrase appears in the Bible, and so Christians use that phrase a lot.
Yeah.
Denying him, are you saying someone who has heard the gospel but doesn't believe it's true? Or are you saying someone who believes it's true, believes Jesus is real and died and resurrected, but is saying, no, thank you, I don't like you?
Yeah, the second one.
The second one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be in the first category then, right? So I know the story, I actually used to believe, and I'm just not convinced it's true. So I'm not denying him.
Well,
I-
he's saying that he's God, in my opinion. Jesus is saying he's God, and you're saying, and then you're saying you're denying what he's saying at that point.
I'm actually saying I don't think anyone knows what Jesus really said.
Yeah.
So I'm just
I
not
get you.
convinced it's true. I'm not saying I believe in him and he's a bad guy. I don't think there's enough evidence to believe that he rose from the dead or that he's accurately quoted in the Gospels.
Why is that? Why do you think that?
Why do I not think he rose from the dead, or why do I not think he was accurately quoted in the Gospels?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, I'd love to get your take.
So the Gospels were written decades and decades after Jesus's death, mostly by people who weren't even there or wouldn't have witnessed those particular conversations. The fact that he would have been accurately quoted all those decades later seems incredibly implausible. And then I don't think there's any evidence that he rose from the dead.
Okay. Yeah, when I looked into it, I'll just say, obviously you're going to have a difference of opinion here. But when I looked at it, we got transcripts going back all the way back to the first century.
No, we don't.
Back then,
We do
it
not.
was.
We don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Uh,
No, we certainly
when
don't.
do you think? When's the earliest transcripts that you've seen?
P52 is the size of the palm of my hand, and it's 2nd century at best.
Okay. All right. But the way I look at it is that back then, just to write one page, it costs you a ton of money, right? So the tradition at that time, everybody was using, memorized a lot of
Is
things
God
that
broke?
were going on.
I'm confused, Sarah. Is God broke? Does he not have money for his friends to write stories?
You would think that God would miraculously be able to do it regardless of the cost.
Dude was pulling coins from fish's mouths.
Okay. I disagree, but
That's in the
it's,
Bible.
Wait, with which part? You don't think Jesus pulled coins out of fish's mouth, or you don't think God's powerful enough to not be overcome with the price of?
I don't think it's us to tell God how he should have done things. I think that there's this whole world, that there must be a creator, that it just doesn't make sense that everything came from nothing.
No. We're not telling God how he should behave. What we're saying is you're making an excuse for God, and we're saying it's a silly excuse. You're saying God couldn't have given us actual good documentation because, gosh, parchment was expensive. Nothing's expensive for God. We're not telling him what he should do. We're just saying that your excuse for what he didn't do isn't a good excuse. Sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
Oh no, you're
I
good.
wasn't making an excuse for God. I was just saying that at that time there's oral tradition that was going on, and that's how people spread word of and news that was going around. And so, yeah, is there a lot of things that we could ask when we're dead? Like, hey, why didn't you do this or that? Yeah, I'm sure that there is. But to me, to say, oh yeah, he didn't have the wealth or something like that. No, it's not on me to say how this has come about, but
That is what you said.
no, that's what you said, that to say that God didn't have the wealth to do it. I was just saying that's not how people communicated at that point. Yeah, God could also have made a billion books and made a spaceship to deliver them to every single person as well, but doesn't mean that that's what he wanted to do and what his plan was. You can say that about anything, right?
Sure, I think it would have been a really good plan to communicate to each person directly so that God could ensure his message wouldn't be lost, rather than tiny parchments and mistranslated documents. And written at a time where most people don't read, and then written in languages that most people don't speak. It's one of the most inefficient ways to make sure that your message is delivered accurately.
Yeah.
I'd
Question
follow
for you.
Spaceship Jesus, though.
So you obviously don't believe in Jesus. What about a creator? Do you think that there's a God as a creator or at all, or not?
I don't think so. But I don't think everything came from nothing. That's something that Christians say that atheists believe, but it's rarely true.
How so, though? Because I haven't heard anything besides that. What do
Have you
think
heard that from
created-
atheists? Like, you asked an atheist and they said, yes, I think everything came from nothing.
They always say, well, it came from the Big Bang. And I'm like, well, how did the Big Bang? They're like, well, it came from atoms, it came from cell, all this. But
So not nothing.
But no. Well, that's still something, though, right? There's
Right.
still
Yes,
something
exactly.
there.
Yeah, yeah. So the things that you believe about the origins of your God could also be applied to the origins of the universe. And I know that you think that your God always existed, that depending on how much you're into philosophy, you might say he's the uncaused cause. I don't know if you're in that
Yeah,
vein or
yeah.
not.
No, I'm with you. He sits out of time, space, and matter. Yeah.
Right. So he sits outside of time, which is a logical fallacy in itself. But if you believe that it is possible for this incredibly powerful entity to have just existed, nothing created it, it just was, then it does not seem to be a stretch to me to believe that space and time and matter just always were. If your God does not need a creator, I don't think that matter and energy need a creator either.
Yeah, but that's assuming that God is comparing us to us, right?
No, no, not at all. I'm
Well,
assuming your
there-
God is this incredibly powerful energy or entity that has created everything else, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So the same thing you could apply to the existence of space and time and matter.
Yeah, but nothing comes from something, and something doesn't come from nothing, though. It's never been
Right.
shown.
Yes, exactly. I
Yeah,
agree.
when you say
I'm not
everything, it's just
disagreeing with
always
you.
been there.
We all agree.
yeah.
There's no nothing.
Right. So if the same thing applies to your God, how does it make sense that your God just always existed? The same way that it makes sense that space and time and matter always existed.
Yeah, so that's when you say existed, I think just me, maybe I'm not understanding, but when I hear existed, it's like existed like us as humans, or a tree, or the planets. But if you sit outside of time, energy, and matter, you look at you're not the same as you're not the same as matter. You're not the same as time and space.
So this idea that God sits outside of time is honestly just a way to exempt God from our rules of logic. But if your God is outside of time, that means that God could never take any action ever. If your God is going to create, then there was time before he created and time after. There's a before and an after. Like, if your God is going to ever enact any sort of change, that requires time. He cannot do anything if he is outside of time.
See, I think that's where our minds are limited. To say that we're looking at things that from a humanistic plan, like, oh, this is time is created. I was like, no, if he created time and he sits outside of time, what that is beyond that, we don't know. That's
No,
what
so
that is
for-
God.
But for God to create, it requires time. He cannot create if he is outside of time.
Why is that? I mean, what do you mean create?
So if there is no time, God cannot make any changes, because when something changes, there is a before and an after. And that is
Yes.
time. Like, that's what
With
time.
that's what I'm saying though. That's what with our minds, we can't think beyond time and matter and energy of what that was like before, and that's why we're not God.
So what you're doing there is you're saying, yeah, that is illogical, but I'm just going to put a God stamp on it and not have an answer or not think through it. But just saying, I
No,
don't
no.
know, it's confusing, it must be God.
No, it's not. If
Yeah,
if
well,
God
see,
sits
would you-
outside of time, matter, and
Would
energy,
you accept that for anything else? Like, if I told you that the tooth fairy was real, and I explained
Okay.
to you why the tooth fairy is real, if it was an illogical explanation, would you just accept me saying, well, it's okay, you can't understand the tooth fairy? Would that be a viable explanation?
No, but there's evidence of this creation.
There's not.
No.
You don't think we're created? I mean,
No.
this whole world's a creation, right?
It's
No.
not.
No, I don't think so at all.
There is no world. There is no universe. There is no planets. There's no trees.
What?
Is that
No,
what you're
it
saying?
wasn't. No, no. I'm saying it was. There's no evidence it was created by an intelligence, a god. There's it. It just is. I don't think it was created by a god. What is your evidence that it was created by a god?
I mean, you've heard this in the arguments. If you see a building, there must be a builder. I mean, look at the universe, how everything lines up. the
have you ever seen
planets,
a
the
builder?
sun. Huh?
Have you ever seen a builder?
I haven't seen my builder. Who
No,
built
no,
my
no. Have
house,
you
but I know they're-
have you seen
No, I
a
haven't.
builder?
No, I haven't actually.
You've literally never seen a construction worker?
Huh? Oh, I've seen a construction worker. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, you ever see a roofer?
Yes, yeah, I have.
You ever see a plumber?
Yeah, so you're saying that.
Okay,
since
so
can't
you've
see it-
witnessed the building of things, which is why you know that they're built. You've never witnessed
Okay,
a god. You merely wish
but
there
can
was a
you-
god.
Here's the flip side, though. If you can see a house, and say you've been on an island and you've never seen any of these things, any of these roofers, but you see a building, would you assume that it was just always just there, and just no one ever created it, no one ever built it? It's just
No,
happened
because-
out of pure luck.
Because
And
we
you've
know
never
what
seen it,
a
though. You've never
because
seen
we
it.
know.
You've never seen a builder.
You want me to answer the question, or do you want to keep talking over me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we
My
know
bad.
the difference between something that occurs in nature and something that doesn't occur in nature. Now, if you're born on that island and that island is the only thing you've ever seen in your entire life, and you've never witnessed anyone building that house, you would think that house is part of nature. The reason why we know houses aren't parts of nature is because we have something to compare it to.
Okay. Yeah, I look at the physical. I look at the whole world as a creation. Obviously, you don't.
We know you.
I
We
just
know you
need-
do, but there's no reason
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Oh, there's definitely
So-
a reason to.
Just saying that it seems like God made it is not evidence that God made it.
Okay, you can believe that.
So
just never
if
seen
I can
anything-
if I can understand how things form on their own, I don't have a reason to believe that also a God was directing the process.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's a creator that.
I know that's what you're saying, but you don't have any evidence to support your statement besides the fact that you think it's correct.
I look at that. There's never. I'll just. You obviously disagree. I never seen life come from non-life. I never seen an intelligent mind.
You've
come
never
from a
seen life come
non-intelligent
from
mind.
God either, Wesley.
What's that?
You've never seen life come from God either. So if you not witnessing it is evidence of it not existing, then your God doesn't exist.
Oh, I
That's
think
a
the
terrible.
I think the
That's a terrible standard to set. Witnessing something is not
Oh,
the standard for whether or not something happened.
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, you just said
can't
you
see
haven't
the
seen
creator.
life from non-life. Your argument
Yes.
was you have not seen life from non-life, and therefore
Yeah,
you think
nobody
it's
has.
incorrect. But no one, you don't apply that logic to your own beliefs. You've also, by that same logic, never seen God create anything, and yet you believe without seeing. But not when it comes to life from non-life. Suddenly, then you can't believe without
Yeah,
seeing.
I'm seeing his creation, and I'm saying, and then I look at the creation and saying
No,
that this
no.
must come
You're
from the creator.
you're assuming it's created. You haven't seen anything.
I've seen the creation.
No,
Right,
you've
but
seen
not that being
you've
created.
seen the same stuff we've seen. You've not witnessed
Yes.
creation. You're assuming it's created because you want it to
Yeah.
be created because you want it to be from your God because it gives you like good feelings in your tum tum.
But but you can also see how that goes. The same thing to you. You're assuming that there's not a creator because you haven't seen the creator,
No, we're not.
right? Yes.
No,
the same
your
thing.
creator,
You
your
have
your
faith
creator
that
entails
there's a
logical
non-creator.
contradictions, and we know that logical contradictions don't exist. Also, your specific version of a creator absolutely doesn't exist because its holy book is full of problems, and this topic is one proof. The topic of hell, Sarah's already walked you through it. is riddled with contradictions. It's riddled with problems, and it's the most unjust doctrine ever created in any religion ever, which is why it's one of the main reasons why people deconstruct from Christianity, because hell makes absolutely zero sense with a God that actually loves his creation.
Do you hope that you're wrong?
No.
Do you hope that, like, if there is a creator, there's a God, that you can someday be there with him?
Well, certainly, but it will never be your God. Your God is a vile monster. If your God is real, he can go fuck himself.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
You should be sorry that your God is so vile, not me.
No, I think, the fact that
No,
you're just,
I don't need to take moral advice from a God. I don't need to take moral
you're
advice from a
interrupting me now,
God that
you're
says that it's okay to rape women and kill
Now you're
babies. I know that you're
no one said
clutching
that.
your pearls because I use the F word. You
No.
should be mad that your God rapes women.
That's not, he condones those things, actually, but.
No, he
I think
causes
you need to
it.
go back.
Wait,
He
you just
causes
said he
it.
condones them? Did you mean to say that he condones it? Because that's just as bad.
No, he's no. It's I see that you guys are getting tense. I thought we were having a good conversation about different opinions, and the fact that you churned on
I'm
this
having a
and-
good conversation. Sarah, are you having a good
No,
conversation?
you went really negative. You went very negative. I was actually enjoying this conversation because I'm always trying to learn new things and see how people look at things. And the fact that you went so negative, just kind of, I think we'll end here. But hey, I wish you guys the best.
I'm not
I
being
hope
negative.
that- I
I'm
hope you guys-
accurately describing your
No,
vile
you know how I
God.
feel.
Your God is
You know-
absolutely vile, and he
Yeah.
should be treated as such.
Do you think that I'm a believer in God and to say
know
that
you
to
are.
someone?
Yeah, we
so
know
to
you
say
are.
it, to-
The
to-
truth hurts
to swear-
sometimes.
No,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't hurt.
I
No,
don't
you're
have
not
to
letting me
play by
speak
your
now.
rules.
No, you're not letting me speak. I had to play.
I don't
by
have
your
to play
rules
by
when I
your
was talking.
rules.
I know, but the fact that we were having a good conversation, and then you knew
And
I
I-
have,
And I
believe in this,
used
and then
language
you-
in accordance with my belief system. Am I not allowed to use the F word?
You're belittling my faith, which is just
So
not nice.
no, I belittled your
You
God.
could have said you didn't like my outfit. I would have said that was not nice, or whatever the case may be.
There's
You
nothing
took
wrong
it to
with your
another
outfit.
level. I
didn't
you
take
took
it to another level.
Just disrespectful. It's just
It,
disrespectful.
it is
to someone-
disrespectful to your God, not to
Even
you.
I-
The fact that you
No,
can't
if you-
handle that your God is vile
Oh,
is
I
not
get it.
my problem.
Yeah, you're twisting
You certainly
the words
can't
now,
handle it
buddy.
because you're crying about it now.
See, now you're going to the crying. And no, I'm just saying, just be respectful, buddy. That's all I'm saying. You're being disrespectful, and that's just not
Did I
nice,
say
dude.
did I say anything bad about
No,
you?
Yes, you did.
Just now I said you were crying because you are.
It's not crying.
This is whining.
Okay. All right, buddy. I wish you guys the best.
No, you don't.
You showed your true colors. Yeah, I do.
Okay. Bye. Sarah, he didn't listen to half the stuff that coming out of your mouth. He ignored almost all of it.
I think I put him in an uncomfortable position where he would have had to articulate the contradictions in his beliefs, and I don't think he was interested in doing that in such a public forum.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he was ready to be getting like really hard questions. Oh well.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab a couple super chats and we're going to get our next guest in here. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you're not following Sarah's channel yet, it's in the description, or rather the title of the video. Make sure you're clicking on that and following her. And you can send super chats through her channel. In fact, we got a bunch of them that already came in. Narrative says, why can't we look at the universe and just experience awe without pretending that there needs to be a guided hand behind it? It's no less beautiful, and maybe more so, without God's interference. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, definitely.
The universe is pretty badass.
Yeah. And also cold and scary and terrifying.
There is that. There is that. 1 million ants. Great to see you. Thank you for the super chat. It says, Sarah, in what way is Christianity/Christian doctrine not essentially a case of Munchausen's by proxy? Love y'all. You know what that is?
So Munchausen's is when you think you are sick, and Munchausen by proxy is when essentially you like think your child or loved one is sick, and you're doing that for like I say attention in it because I don't have a better word for it, but like you psychologically get something beneficial from that by acting like your child is sick. Um, I mean, I could maybe see the Munchausen's more than Munchausen by proxy, but it is certainly a I mean, I think Christianity teaches you that every time you mess up, it is evidence that you are a deeply terrible, awful person. And you learn that and you get in the habit of seeing, yep, see, I messed up that time. There's the evidence that I'm a terrible, awful person. And so I do think that it does that and that can be really damaging.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree. Skeptic Quest, good to see you, says, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Adventists, Seventh day Adventists, you mean, imagine themselves more enlightened for rejecting eternal hellfire in favor of utter annihilation, yet never pause to consider whether a God which burns its children until they die would be any less monstrous. I mean,
I didn't know that they believed that you would burn until you died. You don't just die and that's it. There's a spiritual burning and then you cease existing.
apparently, I'm not super up to speed on all the SDA doctrines.
Yeah,
I
I
know
don't
this
know
though:
either.
no Christmas trees. Absolutely no Christmas trees.
It's a bummer.
Room says, I was able to catch Sarah a lot in the beginning of her YouTube career, and let me say, she has become a goddamn boss. Obviously, she has always been wonderful, but you can tell she's been practicing. Hell yeah, she is.
Well, thank you.
There's the queen around these parts, the deconstruction queen. Cole says, can't think of any fun comment. Just take my money. Well, hell yeah, Cole. Hell yeah. And Holla Furphy, thank you for sending out 20
Oh my
20
gosh.
DZ Debate gifted memberships. Super appreciate that. Sarah, did you open memberships on your channel yet?
Yes. Yes, there are memberships on my channel too.
Love it. Guys, you can be a member on Sarah's channel now. And last super chat for now, Chip, our good friend, thank you for the 666.
Hey,
Says
Chip.
the girl hot is hot and Sarah is cooking. Poor Wesley, so victimized by Justin's telling the truth about God being vile. Rock hard for Doug and Simply Went for sure. I know they get offended when you have harsh words for their deity, and it's weird to me that they think that like I'm not allowed to cuss. Like I'm not in your church. If I came to your church, I wouldn't cuss in your church. If I came to your house, I wouldn't cuss in your house. But you're in our house. We can say fuck all we want. It's gonna be okay.
You can, although I mean, he did, I think, take personal offense. If you insult his God, you insult him.
That seems to be the case. Atheist named Lilith says, this is on Sarah's YouTube, but I just wanted to say hi to you both. Well, thank you. Good to see you.
Hi, Lilith.
All right, let's grab, we're going to grab the Bells, who is in here next, and then I think Ramesh and Jackson after that. Welcome in, Bells.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how you doing? Sarah, you want to take this?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Big fan of Justin's, and Sarah, you were fantastic. Really loved how you broke things down for Wesley.
Well, thank
Um,
you.
I'm coming in as a non-theist, as I would describe it, but someone who definitely shares your beliefs. But the reason I'm calling in is I think we kind of miss the point when we focus on these people's beliefs. And what I've come to understand, and I'd
Wait, what?
like to hear your thoughts on this.
What point?
Yeah. The point that we focus on, all the um, incred, uh, incongruous ideas that these people hold, that they're not logical, that they aren't backed up by science. But I think holding these odd beliefs is a form of identity that then grants them membership into a larger community. And I think we look at like The Latter-day Saints is a good example. It's obviously a preposterous idea, but by at least claiming you believe in these things, you get membership into this cult that takes care of its members. And I think Christianity's done that for thousands of years, and we kind of miss the point when we focus too much on just the beliefs and not its role in society.
Well, I don't think we ignore that happens, but that is not something that we are going to take down. I think, I think probably Justin and I are slightly different here in that I'm actually not even trying to take down Christianity or anything. But I think it is worth people's time to examine their beliefs, especially their belief about hell. There are Christians who are universalists. And so I do think it is certainly worth people's time to critically examine what they believe and why they believe what they do. But absolutely, belief, especially religious belief, is never purely logical. It is certainly upheld by your experiences and your culture and your psychology. So I have no illusions that someone's going to change their mind with one conversation.
Right. But I think my point is not that we don't do the negative part. I think we've done that really well up to this point. I think at this point, it'd be nice to see a shift where we not only understand the sociological benefits to belonging to a group that creates solidarity. You think of like huge pandemics coming through, and your Christian brothers and sisters were the ones that would be at your bedside despite the communicable disease. Those types of things.
No.
We see that in like secular things like unions, civil rights groups.
So we do
we've
understand
done it
that.
secularly. Yeah, right. We do.
So I'm
But
not
I
sure.
don't think I don't think we're focusing
Yeah,
enough on
Bells,
that part
I'll
of
tell
it.
you what, we'll make you a deal. Sarah and I are going to keep doing our thing. You can start your own show talking about the topics that you love the most, okay?
Thanks, Justin.
Cheers, buddy. I have no idea what he thought he was going to accomplish there.
Well, I'm not sure what it was he wanted. Like, it was like he wanted us to take down Christianity by
Talking about its negative effects?
well, no, like he was saying that one of the powerful things about Christianity is its community, and like people stay for the community, which is true, but I'm not gonna do anything about that. Like did he want us to like try to take down their communities? I don't. That's why I was lost. It's like, what is it you think we should be doing?
Yeah, I have no idea. But whatever he thinks should be happening, he can do it himself. He doesn't need to tell us how to do our jobs. Josiah, thank you for the super chat, says, we all learned that Justin can cook on the Bible. However, we also learned that Justin doesn't know how to cook on picking out a laptop for Sarah. Well, her laptop was okay till she spilt water. Well, somebody spilt water on it. Was it an animal?
Yes. And then I had, well, oh yeah, that's right. That is this laptop. But it's apparently better now. It's fine. My laptop's fine. It works.
It's
fine.
working.
It's good.
I think we're okay. I think we're okay. All right, let's get Ramesh in here. Welcome in, Ramesh.
Are you?
Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
Hi. Hello.
All right, should be better. Ramesh, are you at least 18, and do you believe in hell?
Yeah, I am 35. I used to believe, but I'm an atheist now.
Oh.
I'm from Christian background, from India.
Okay. Well, thanks for being here, but we're just talking to people who believe in hell. All right, we're going to grab Jackson. Welcome in, Jackson. Are you at least 18, and do you believe in hell? Welcome in, Jackson. Do you have a microphone plugged in? Jackson, you waited all that time in the guest queue. I'd hate for you to not be able to talk.
Is he muted?
No, he's not muted. He just his hardware, his microphone hardware says that it's turned off.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry,
Well,
Jackson.
that's a bummer.
Come on back when you get your hardware figured out, okay? All right, well, we'll try the next one. I gotta do one more thing before I forget. Okay, we're gonna bring in ... and then Decker after that.
Well,
Oh,
hello.
that was a weird echo.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Going well.
Good. Are you at least 18?
Over 18. Way over.
Okay. And do you believe that we deserve hell?
Yeah, we do.
How come?
Because we're all terrible. And we can pretend to be nice, but, we're all faking it.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear
I'm
you
doing my
think
best to
that.
pretend.
That's some crazy projection. Sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Well, I think so far we've all got it wrong. Not many people can see that, and it's a blindness that we all have.
What is a blindness?
Well, it's the understanding of God and what He is, and so if He says He's all good, then isn't that everything good? And then anything that contradicts that is obviously false, then, right? So then
No?
that would be His opponent.
What? Okay, so you think we're all terrible and that anyone who's being kind is just pretending?
Oh, not entirely. Putting on a show, sort of. It's
Okay.
temporarily,
So
subjective to change.
when you're kind to people, you don't actually want to be kind to them?
I personally believe that I'm kind, or at least I try to be.
Oh, well that contradicts what you just said earlier then. Maybe you're kind and not terrible.
Are you good? Are you kind?
Most of the time. Do
Well,
you
there you
think
go.
that I'm terrible? I'm confused why you think everyone's terrible and suddenly everyone's not terrible.
We have the ability to do awful things if necessary. That's why.
So just because we have the potential to do something terrible, we deserve hell, even if we don't ever do something terrible?
Well, technically there is no hell. We all go to heaven. Hell would be sinners' heaven, or just yeah.
I don't know. So you think we do deserve hell, but no one goes?
There is technically no hell. Hell would be a sinner's heaven.
I don't know what that means.
Well, if sinners were to have a heaven for themselves, it would be called hell,
Why?
because there they can do whatever they want, and God has no intervention, so can't intervene, because that's what pretty much how He rolls.
Wait, so God created a place where sinners can just do whatever they want and God is unable to intervene?
Pretty much, but He can influence, though.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm so confused where any of this is coming from. Wait, so there is a place that people go after they die and they can do anything they want and God can't intervene, but He can influence?
Yep.
And how did you arrive at this belief?
Logic and a little bit of common sense with a little bit of it all plays in a role together. Everything kind of all falls in place once you know enough of a little bit of everything.
Okay, you're saying you just feel like this is true because it seems reasonable?
Well, I can break it down, but it might take some time.
Okay, so I guess maybe what I'm asking is, did you come to this belief by reading a holy book, by studying area of science, by having a mentor who told you some of these things, or is this all
Self-
truly just from your own head?
self-learning, and you pretty much connect the dots slowly. Would you like to see an example of how I got there?
Well, so when you say self-learning, so you're like reading books, taking courses, like what does self-learning look like for you?
Just connecting the dots and having it all make sense in a way of problem solving.
So this is just happening in your head, or can you tell me a book you've read?
Well, um, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I can't believe
No,
not many people see it.
it's not really straightforward. Um, it seems like this is maybe something that you're just, I mean, if you've only come to it in your own mind, I'm not sure how you're verifying that you've come to the correct conclusion.
Right. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
The English language, I would consider that a cursed language, right? Where how it
No, not
operates
right.
is you can literally, well, let me give you an example. You could write in cursive, and on top of that, it actually works in reverse, meaning the person who's using insults actually curse themselves.
Are we
And
being
what I mean
trolled?
is, if you nope, it's just let
Yeah.
me explain.
Yeah, no one's that dumb.
Yeah, we're being
Cursive is
trolled.
not the same thing as cursed. Okay, well,
Uh,
at least he got his jollies out. All right, let's move on to our next one. She says, heard J Mike say today that Justin is converting more people than anyone. Didn't know if you'd seen it. Super cool. I didn't actually hear that, but that is super cool. I actually don't know what people say about me around the community. I don't even watch Christian response videos of me. I have no idea what Christians are saying about me. I'm sure they hate me, but I love that J Mike likes me. And Ben says the Buddhist Hell theme park in Bangkok is wild. Actually, I've heard about this. I've never obviously been there, but I hope to one day. They have a hole that if you put your ear to the ground, you can hear the screams. It's a tape recorder. I mean, obviously it's a tape recorder, but I mean, what good would hell be if you didn't like rig something up to, to scare people?
wow, that's crazy. I don't know
Christians
anything
would
about
fall for that, wouldn't they?
Yikes.
You know, if somebody dug a big hole in Alabama and told them that you can hear hell and they were playing music down there, or tape recorders, people would fall for that. Ben Jones says, what if you're disabled? You have Down syndrome, autistic. You are unable to worship this deity because of disability. God tortures the disabled. I mean, if you really dial in on the Christian doctrine, yeah. I mean, that seems to be the case.
Yeah, I mean the whole idea that, well, no, you have to consciously choose it implies that you are able to understand what it is that you're choosing. A- and that same logic applies to people who've never heard, right? You can't
Right.
understand and choose if you've never heard.
And if there's all these loopholes, that it seems that Jesus was never all that necessary to begin with.
Yep.
Things that are necessary shouldn't have loopholes. Captain Quest, thank you for the super chat. Says Adventists believe that post-millennium the wicked are resurrected, judged, and quickly consumed in the lake of fire, resulting in their total annihilation. Souls do not exist in their theology. Yeah, that is one of their weirder beliefs. They really did carve out their own niche within Christianity that separates them from the others. Last super chat for now from our friend Unashamed Apostate says, if Christians spent less time crying and more time listening, this live wouldn't be nearly as fun. Maybe may Doug turn their tears into salt and season barbecue. Actually, this is our last super chat. From Orca Magnus says, Sarah, you're an angel. You seem to have a hard time calling idiots what they are. This because she's nice. Guys, I'm the asshole here. You got to remember that.
We do the good cop, bad cop thing.
We all have a role to play, and my role is sometimes you gotta rough them up, you know.
Yeah, I don't do that.
All right, let's get Decker from our YouTube queue. Welcome, Decker. Are you at least 18 and do you believe in hell?
Yes, I am 38, and I used to be agnostic, used to be new atheist. The term new atheist, though, I realize is basically just anti-theist. So I don't really call it atheist. I was more so an anti-theist. And yeah, I've come to realize that hell is evil if it's not true. If it is true, it's potentially the most loving thing that you can tell somebody about.
Oh,
Because
wait. So you're saying telling someone about hell, not we're talking about the existence of hell. So I
right, so
understand
if
you
it's
think you're
real,
warning us, but we're not talking
yeah.
about whether it's evil to tell someone about hell. We're talking about, do you deserve to go there?
No, that's what I mean. So you can ask any question you want, say deserve or not. If it's a true place, just focus on that. If it exists or not.
Uh,
If it's a true place,
uh-huh.
okay, it's very, very, very good to tell people about it.
Great.
Not only
But
that,
I'm not interested in
so
whether or not you should tell people. That's not what we're talking
Yeah,
about tonight.
because as it turns out, we both like heard of it. You don't have to tell
We've been
us.
told. We got it. You've told us. So let's talk
right.
about the ethics of
So
of what hell is and whether you deserve to go there.
well, it's not about being deserving it. It's about why is it okay. For example, if you frame it as you deserve hell, that takes it out of context of Scripture. Scripture says that our deeds are like filthy rags, right? So
Uh-huh.
there's
Yeah,
nothing that
I'm
we
aware it
do.
says that. It's what a terrible
Right.
thing to say.
I get that, but you're thinking from only a human perspective. So
I am
one thing
unfortunately only a human.
right. So what I mean though is that if like a 2D thing was trying to understand a 3D object, right? It wouldn't understand it. So
Are you a
we can,
human?
yeah.
So
What I'm
you're
saying
only
is that
capable of viewing this as a human too.
no, because
Yeah.
if you're aware that there isn't just you and me in our mind, then you're not stuck in the frame that you're stuck in. You're stuck in a 2D frame in a 3D world.
And what did you
Think of
use
it
to
that
come
way.
to that conclusion?
That story is very long, and it's
So
You
personal
very
used
experience?
complicated. But it
used your
started.
mind. You used your
No,
human mind
no,
to come to that conclusion, which is,
no.
as it turns
I
out, the
used.
same thing Sarah and I are using, which is a human mind. Now, you
No,
can
I
think
didn't
that
use
you have
just my
access to the
mind.
divine, and
I
no
did
one really
not use just
cares
my
because we don't
mind.
believe that you have access to the divine. I'm much more interested in you actually paying attention to Sarah's line of questioning because the topic of tonight is whether or not people deserve to go to hell. If you're unprepared to talk about that, that's fine. You don't have to talk about that, but we will move on to the next guest that does want to talk about it.
So, let me ask you this: does a child
So
deserve
are
in
you
this
prepared to
world?
talk about the
In this
topic?
world,
Yes or no?
yeah, and and it does
Gotcha.
lead to the topic.
Okay,
It
so
does
did
lead
you
to the
want to
topic.
address Sarah's initial question or not?
So, the reason you don't deserve hell is because you're
There we
misframing
go.
the question. Okay, so it's not about deserving hell. Okay, what it is a place wasn't prepared for us. It's prepared for an entity that's far beyond what we can recognize as evil. Like what we think on this world is evil, we don't recognize there's an evil that's so bad that you would have to separate it from everything. Okay, so
No,
this place
so
that we go to,
please assume that I was a Christian for 20 years, have read the Bible front to back multiple times. So you don't need to talk to me like I have no idea. And even if God created this place for something else, for someone else, many
yeah,
Christians believe that humans will go there. And if humans go there, your all powerful God that designed everything and has foreknowledge is at best knew humans were going to go there. So I am asking, do humans deserve to go there?
no, they don't deserve it. That's what you're not
Cool.
Okay,
understanding.
so why do
It's
they go there?
I can explain it very easily. The
Oh, good.
reason is the same way a child that doesn't deserve to get what they get, a child that gets abused on earth doesn't deserve it, but it happens. Okay.
But
When
Whoa,
you're
wait a
asking, you're
minute.
asking,
oh,
you're asking, no. Think about it for a second, because
No,
ask,
wait,
think
no,
about
no.
the
I need you
question
to
that you're
stop
saying.
for a moment. Stop.
Think
Stop
about what you
before you
guys just
say
are
something
saying. You're asking,
terrible
do we
on the internet.
deserve?
You are, wait, please, sir. I beg you to stop before you say something terrible on the internet in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. If this is your metaphor, God is watching this happen and allowing it to happen. Your God is supposed to be in control of everything. And so
Mhm.
the fact that a child being abused in your metaphor is the same as a human going to hell?
No, I'm saying it's the
to
exact
be
same
fair,
argument as that they
it's an
don't deserve it.
accurate analogy. God is the most abusive father on the planet
No,
or in
you
the
guys,
universe.
you guys are misframing it. What I'm trying to say is
Those are
very
your
simple.
words.
You're saying that a child would deserve that, right?
No,
No.
no one is saying that. What?
Oh, whoa. Oh, okay. So if a person ends up in a hellish situation, you can understand that they don't deserve it, right?
Yeah, because there's no bigger God in control of it.
Okay, I don't need there to be a bigger God. Okay, I'm asking you a very simple question. If you can
Uh-huh.
understand
I can
that if a
understand,
person
yeah.
can find themselves in a hellish situation that they did not deserve, why are you asking that we deserve hell if we can find it? It's the exact same thing, except one
No, it is
is an
not because
extended
you
period of time
believe.
that's eternal. One is not, and to a child, by the way, it does feel eternal.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
how does a human
so
physically make it to hell? Like, I don't know where hell is. I don't know how to get there.
how does that pertain to whether or not you
It
deserve it?
pertains because you believe in a God that is actually in control of everything. And yet you are abdicating this God of any responsibility for his human beings ending up in hell.
Why would I say no? I never said that he doesn't have any responsibility. In fact, I believe that he decided in advance, knowing that this example, or I'm sorry, this unfortunate reality exists, right?
He
That
created this unfortunate
that
reality.
he had to come and take on that hell himself. So what I
Okay, but
believe
again,
is
he
not,
created it in the first place, right?
no, he did not create hell. Okay, you have to
Who
understand
did?
what hell is the absence of of God.
That's
So he didn't
insane.
create it. It's the separation of
Uh-huh.
anyone from God.
So
So
God
it's
created
not something you
everything,
create.
right?
It's
Like
an
absolutely everything. And so God created the idea that human beings could even exist in his absence. He created
no,
everything, right?
no,
Oh, so do
no,
you think God is subject to laws that God did not create?
no. It's think of it this way.
No,
So
I want you
an
to answer my
AI,
question first. So, if you're going to say that you don't understand, sin separates us from God, and so we have to be separated from Him when we die because of our sin, God made that rule. Unless you think that the effects of
you think
sin
that
are
to make a
following a
rule.
law.
Okay, so think of
Do
it
you
this way.
think
If
the
I have
effects
to,
of sin are following a law that God did not create?
no, what I'm saying
So
is that
God created it,
law,
right?
the law though,
Did God
it
create the
does not
law?
matter. It does not matter if the law was created. It matters if it was intended to have the effect.
I
Yeah,
didn't
it
hear an
does
answer to the
matter.
question.
So
Yeah,
so what you
did God create
God cannot
no, you're
conceive of
you're
sin.
dodging the question here. Did
God
God
cannot conceive of
create
sin.
the law or the rule that when you sin, it separates you? Did God create that?
No, what he
So
created
it just
was a
happened on its
law.
own and he didn't know it was going to happen that way?
No, he doesn't. He can't conceive of sin. He can't conceive it. So what it is that the enemy that
Wait,
we
wait, wait,
have.
wait. God can't conceive of sin?
So he's not
No,
all knowing?
no, he cannot. He can't. What I mean by conceive is that
As
he cannot
a human
create in any
pretzel over
way
here.
something like that. He can't create death.
Okay.
It's
So that's
not
not
of.
biblical. Are you a Christian?
No, he's not.
So
He's going to
yeah, I am.
super hell for
So
sure.
God. So this is a big thing that I disagree with. Like some of my Christian. I was grew up Catholic, became an atheist because Catholicism is basically just idol worship. But essentially, what a lot of Christians teach, right, is that God somehow has the capacity to create death. And this is such a terrible misreading of Scripture, because it's not at all what you see. What you actually see is that God has created beings who created death.
I did not
And
know
these
we were that
beings,
powerful.
Oh
and so
shit.
what? So the
Wow.
being, so yeah, it says in Scripture, right, that
Do we get
death is
wands? How do we create this death?
So when we do anything that is against God's law, right, this particular death is it's conceived in our hearts. So when you, for
It's
example,
not
like
in
Christ,
mine. Sarah, did you
so
ever
when
think about death when you disobeyed anyone?
well, your
I
heart
never thought
actually
about
has
death.
memory cells. So it's not just your mind.
I
Your
don't have
heart
any
actually
memories of it.
has neurons. So your
Your
heart,
heart
right?
does not have memories. No.
Yes, it does. Look it up.
Well, today's your
heart
lucky
has
day,
neurons
Decker,
in it,
because
moron. It does.
the person on the
Look it
screen with
up.
me has a PhD in physiology. What do you think, Sarah?
Hi. So
Yeah.
yeah, I actually have a PhD in human physiology. What would you like to know about the heart?
Yeah, go look up Mrs. PhD about the neurons in your heart. You have no idea that they're there.
Just because something has neurons does not mean it
Oh,
has
so they do. You
memory.
figured it
Of
out.
course it does. Neurons don't equal memory.
What's a neuron?
Oh boy. It is a cell that transmits information, energy, electricity.
Yeah,
How do you think your heart beats?
yeah.
You
Quick
think
question.
electricity is a
So-
memory?
So let me, Sarah, since you're the
Do you
expert
think
here,
people lose their memories when they get heart transplants?
do you? Yeah, actually, no, they don't lose their
No,
memory.
no, they
actually
don't.
They gain the memory. I can show you a
No,
study right now.
they absolutely
They
do
have-
not. This guy's
Justin.
bananas.
Justin,
Imagine
You have
believing
no
this
idea
kind
what
of
you're talking about.
nonsense.
you have no idea what you're talking about.
I certainly do,
You're
which is why I know
moron.
this
A
is
lot of
utter
arrogance
nonsense.
for someone to
Hey,
be this wrong.
There
He's
is- there
really
is-
upset.
there
He's
are
getting big
studies
mad for
heart
Jesus.
transplants. Listen,
Oh,
He's getting really big mad for Jesus, and now we can't even hear him because I just had to mute him. So we will definitely know them by their fruits. Sarah, do you know of any studies where people gained new memories from their heart transplant?
I do not.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
But I'm sure you can read something somewhere that says that they do.
do you want me to give you the study?
Sure.
You're more than welcome.
I'll show you right now.
Also, do you
So,
think what
The
you're
heart
doing
transplant
is
victims
good by
often
like?
have- this is an effect that you should know about, by the way.
Oh my
because
gosh! Thank
it's-
you so much.
Yeah, you really should know about this because you're
You're
claiming
right.
you're the expert.
I should.
This particular effect, let me look it up real quick.
Who's the
heart
author? What journal is it published in?
Memory.
I'm ready. I'll
What
look it up.
what journal?
I'm looking it up right now for you. Heart memory. Here it is. Here's an entire. Actually, this is in the field of organ transplantation. I'll just read you the abstract. Because
No.
this
Which
is a-
journal?
The journal. What journal is it published in?
This is published in Curious. It looks like.
Not going to be in a journal. I can guarantee it.
Curious. So not an academic journal. Can you
I
cite
mean,
the
this is-
research
I can give you
study?
the link. Do you want me to post you the link? This is off of the National Library of Medicine. This is off the NIH website.
So it should have a journal and an author and a year, and then I can look it up.
Okay, the author is going to be Abdul Karim Al Jahani, Muhammad Imran,
Yep.
Zahad Al Zahi,
Mhm.
and there's it's called Beyond the Pump. You can look it up right now. A narrative
have it up
study
in front of
exploring
me.
memory.
And there's no
Interesting
journal listed
phenomena
here.
challenging traditional understandings of memory.
To be
identity,
sure,
and
there's
consciousness.
no journal listed here,
Studies.
Decker.
Okay, guys, I'm giving you the study. Can
So-
I read you the abstract?
You're more
So
than
you
welcome
can look it up
to.
yourself on your own free time.
No,
it's
I already
called
have it
Beyond
in
the
front of
Pump.
me.
Okay, there you go. So, okay, what this is showing, this is a peer-reviewed article, and what it's referring to is
What's the
studies.
journal, Justin?
There's no journal listed.
Then how is it a peer-reviewed journal?
It's not.
You guys first denied that this even existed.
You
No, we
haven't-
didn't.
Yeah, Yeah, you did. You didn't
No, we
even know it
didn't.
existed. You're like, oh, do you lose memory?
You don't.
Do you lose memory if you have a hard drive? You don't even know,
Nope.
dude, that you can gain memory. These people gain the thoughts and the
Do,
feelings from
do
the
you
person
lose
that they
memory? I still didn't get an answer to that.
No, you gain memory, you
No,
moron.
but do you
Listen.
lose any? Do you lose any?
Sir, is calling people a moron what Jesus wants you to do right now? Like,
Oh,
are you
you're in no position to tell me. Jesus flipped over tables in anger. You have no idea who
Oh
Jesus
yeah.
is.
Oh,
You think
he's
you know
not.
Jesus.
He's never
You have
read
no idea who Jesus
Colossians.
is.
Are you Jesus?
You know what he called? You know what he
Are
called the
you
Pharisees?
are you
He
Jesus?
called them vipers. He
No,
called them
John did
vipers.
that.
You
Read
know
your
what?
Bible.
You're
John
worse than
said
vipers.
John said that, not Jesus. Read your Bible.
Okay, so
So
I'm on the NIH website here on PubMed. I am searching heart memory. There is one study that talks about personality changes by Leister, published in 2020. There is no heart rate variability, chronic heart failure with I don't see anything like what you're talking about here. And this goes back to 2013.
Be just spoon fed to you. You need to go study.
The- I'm sorry. What's your credentials in, Decker?
Feed you more?
Yeah, what are
What's
your
your
credentials?
What are your credentials?
You don't need to
What
know
do
my
you
credentials.
What did you do? You
You
have
don't need to
any?
know my credentials.
Your credentials is Jesus.
Yep, Jesus, that is it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
there
you
go.
you haven't actually
There you
studied
go.
anything. You searched the internet after
Yeah,
reading
you
like
can
a really
assume all
bad.
you want, moron.
You searched
Alright,
the
can
internet
we
after
be done
reading
with
like
this
an
guy,
Apologetics
Justin?
Press article. Yeah, he's no one can hear you, Decker. You're muted because you can't exhibit any of the fruits of Jesus, so you don't get to talk on this stage. Wonder how long he's gonna talk while he's muted. Oh well. So before we cut you, I just want to read you real quick Colossians. Colossians says, in fact, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Do you think that those instructions are important for you, Decker?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So you're a hypocrite. Get out of here. He's a real tough guy, wasn't he?
That was unpleasant. Ugh. Like,
Yeah.
it's I get real frustrated when people are that arrogant. Like, I don't like that. That is unpleasant.
Well, he was mad that none of his talking points worked and he didn't know what else to do other than lash out. I don't believe that he was ever a real atheist. Certainly not of the new atheist movement. If he was, I'd be ashamed to admit him into the crew.
Ugh, I don't. Yeah, it's interesting to me. I mean, I've seen this before, but the idea of like, well, no, Jesus flipped tables, therefore I can go yell at people, and it's the same thing. And this idea that it's okay for me to treat people badly because Jesus flipped tables, or like
Right.
the truth hurts, or something like that. I think it's really unfortunate because we actually do talk to a lot of lovely Christians. Like, I don't think that this guy represents all of Christianity in any way. But it's, I think, frustrating when, like, how can you read all the words of Jesus and the thing you walk away with is that I need to go tell all the atheists how wrong they are. And if I don't like those atheists, I need to insult them so that they know how wrong they are. And like, that's what
I
you walked
know.
away with.
I know in his mind he thinks that like he's going to win the audience over to his side by behaving that way, but if I was a Christian watching this or I was on the fence watching it, that would not be the performance that won me over, that's for sure. Let me grab a couple super chats. We'll get our next guest in here. Simeon, thank you for the super chat, friend. Says, growing up and living in Northeast Ohio, I was surrounded by a lot of Catholics. I mean, your experience is my experience, friend. And one thing as a child I couldn't square was the idea of Jesus sacrificed himself for our sins, yet we're all still bound by original sin. Weird. Exactly. And we all still die. So if Jesus fixed the problem, none of us should actually die anymore. We should just live forever. Case closed. We're done. I mean, That would be the logical extension, as far as I can tell. And Washa, thank you for the super chat. Says I have a deep feeling that nobody believes in God. Well, I can confirm that I don't believe in God, and that's more than just a feeling, and a good song, and a good song. Twisted, thank you for the $5 super thanks. We appreciate that. And Fisher says we all knew they would come in with the "it's just separation from God" angle. Get ready for a lot of denial that God would have people tortured. I mean, there's weeping, gnashing of teeth. There's fire and agony. It seems like torture to me. And Drew says hell is like a restaurant where they seat you, but have to wait an awful long time for the server to bring water to the table. I mean, basically eternity. You're waiting for
Ugh.
eternity for that water.
That was so frustrating when our first caller was like, I mean, I don't know if it's that bad. It's like, but then he uses the example of Lazarus, like reaching out for one drop of water, but would not say that that was suffering.
Right. All right, let me grab Debate Doc and then Fuzz the Cat. Although I think Debate Doc isn't that an atheist? Debate Doc, welcome in. Are you at least 18 and do you believe in hell? Debate Doc? I don't think they're fully connected. It looks like they're half connected. Maybe they got up here by accident. Okay. Let's get Fuzz the Cat in here next. We got quite a few people on the YouTube queue. Must be a YouTube night. Maybe TikTok's not happening tonight. All right. Let's see. All right. Fuzz the Cat should be with us. Fuzz, welcome in.
Hi, how you going?
Yeah, good to meet you. Fuzz, are you at least 18 and do you believe in hell?
Yes, and I do believe in hell as an event.
As an event?
Yes.
So, like something that happens one time and then it's over?
Yes, that's correct.
So, would you consider yourself like an annihilationist?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if that's directly addressing the question, though. You've got up here, you don't deserve hell.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, and generally when I have a really big issue with hell, it is the eternalness of it, like the infiniteness of it. I have less of an issue when people think that either you go to heaven or you just die and that's it. So what do you think people who aren't Christians, do they go through some extra suffering or they just die and that's it?
Well, I believe that people suffer a certain amount to satisfy justice. So there is a difference made between like Hitler and just a person who's lived a pretty ordinary life.
Okay, so if you're not a Christian, you have to suffer to pay for all the bad things you did. But if you're a Christian, you don't have to suffer to pay for the bad things you did.
Those bad things still have to be paid for, but the devil, as the original tempter, he pays for it instead. So he has to burn.
So if you're a Christian, God will burn the devil instead of you.
Well, whose fault is it? Who takes responsibility for sin? If you're forgiven, it's not you. It can't be God because he's good. So the only one left is the devil, who's the original father of lies. So therefore, the responsibility goes back onto him because he was the originator of all this, if that makes logical sense.
Well, so what I'm not following is like, if God is forgiving you for your sins, we have now left justice. Justice is not being served. Like, you are the one who sinned, and if you're going to be forgiven, that's okay. But we just have to accept that, like, you're being shown mercy instead of justice. But the idea of punishing someone else for your sins certainly isn't justice and doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me.
The devil tempts people. So it's a bit like someone who set up maybe a heist. Some people executed it, but a person was there who set up the whole thing, managed it. Now, if someone got involved and later on they go, oh, look, I didn't really want to be involved in this. Look, I'm sorry I did that. The person who staged the whole thing, they're still responsible for what they did.
So,
In that way, does that make sense?
well, but each person is still responsible for their actions. Like, if it's not like if someone does a heist and they have someone who helps a little bit and you absolve that person, it's not like you take their jail sentence and put it onto the other person. Like that's still, it's not justice.
If the person who arranged the whole thing never did so in the first place, then the heist wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, so why
From
does
that
God
point of view.
allow Satan to exist at all then? Like, if we wouldn't sin if Satan didn't exist, why does Satan exist?
Because we're all given free will, and there was the possibility of doing the wrong thing, so that we're not just all created automatons or robots. We have the capability to choose. If I can ask one thing,
Mm-hmm.
did you give your consent to exist?
No.
No. In light of that, do you think that it's ethical to enforce eternal life, or do you think it's immoral to impose immortality, given the fact that you didn't give your consent to exist in the first place?
I think it's immoral to hold people to any part of the system.
So you would say that it's immoral to force people to live forever? They should be able to choose.
Well, so they should be able to freely choose with all the information. I mean, after, like, it's not fair to make people choose without being able to see and talk to God directly, like audibly, physically, not just a feeling in their heart.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good point.
So if it's about free
Yeah,
choice, then we should have all the information before we're forced to choose.
you're saying, so you would be saying free, informed choice.
That would be more ethical, yes. So trying to frame this as like, well, God just wants you to be able to choose. We don't have all the information to choose.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm not sure if I can entirely pick that apart. I think you made a good point
I
there.
mean, I think it would be a different scenario if you believed that everyone dies and then they get to talk to God, get all of their questions answered, understand what heaven is for sure, with God specifically telling them what heaven is and what it entails, and then they can choose if they want to stay or if they don't. Like, that would be much more reasonable, but I'm not sure you believe that that's the case.
I guess I think that people are judged on the knowledge that they have. So that's still sort of an informed choice.
Well,
They
but if
make
you're
the
being
choice of,
judged, that's different than a choice. So are we going to heaven because it's our choice, or are we going to heaven because we've met a criteria and we're being judged?
it's kind of a bit of both. I don't think we can just make a choice saying, I want to go to heaven, or I don't want to go to heaven, or well, I want to live forever, or I don't want to live forever. We shouldn't just be able to make that choice because we just decide. I think it should be based upon our suitability and where our greatest happiness would lie. If we're suitable, if we'd be trusted to live forever, if that makes sense. If we can't be trusted with eternity, if we can't be trusted to live forever, then I think that the amount of trust that we put in us makes our choice.
But Satan won't be in eternity. And so when you say you need to be able to trust people to live forever, but there won't be any Satan to tempt them anymore, right?
Correct.
So why wouldn't you be able to trust someone?
I mean, we can say that Satan was the father of all of this, but we also participate by the decisions that we make. And as we make decisions, we form a direction that we're headed in. And if we're headed in a direction of safety and well-being, I think that's compatible with eternity of happiness. And if we're making decisions that's incompatible with safety and well-being, then I don't think that eternity would be a happy place for us.
So when you say making decisions with safety and well-being,
Yeah.
like I take pretty good care of myself. I exercise, I eat well. I also try to take care of my community and I try to love people. Um, is that what you're talking about?
I think that's a large part of what it is.
Okay, so God would say that, I know I'm putting you in a hypothetical situation, so don't worry, I'm not going to hold you to this, but just hypothetically, let's say those are the types of choices I make. And so would God think that that kind of person would be compatible with heaven? And so I would go?
As far as I understand it, it says that those who confess the name of Jesus will be saved. And to me, that's not a spelling or a sound. I think it's a character. And Jesus was helpful towards people. And if you're showing the same character, then I think that makes sense. Does that sound reasonable?
Well, certainly, I mean, it doesn't really fall in line with, well, I guess with a lot of maybe mainline Protestant teachings, and it's sort of conflicting with Catholicism. But the idea that what you're saying is God will look at our actions, and assuming that our actions reflect kind of the state of our heart, and if we are doing enough good things, then we get let into heaven.
Our actions are the fruit of our heart.
Right. So people who don't believe in God also can have good hearts and do good things. And so that would mean that God is going to let atheists, some atheists into heaven because they have good hearts and they are kind to people and do good things.
I believe the Holy Spirit doesn't just talk to only Christians. I believe he talks to all people. And there are atheists who are listening to a voice that says to be kind and loving to people. And if that's the case, and they're listening to that voice, then absolutely yes. And when they get to heaven and they hear the voice of Jesus, they go, that's the voice I was following. I didn't know that it was you.
I
Okay,
don't
yes,
listen to
the main
voices or hear
Christians, I
them.
agree.
I mean, the whole like Romans 10:9, if you confess with your mouth and believe with your heart, then you will be saved. But what you're saying is you don't actually have to believe in Jesus. You just need to listen to the good inclinations that you have, and that'll get you into heaven.
Confessing Jesus is not just saying the word, Jesus, I recognize you. It's allowing Jesus through his Holy Spirit to live out a life of love towards others.
Right, but to allow implies a conscious decision. I am not consciously allowing Jesus to do anything. And the verse does say, confess with your mouth.
And believe in your heart.
Yeah.
But I don't do either.
Jesus also said, the meek shall inherit the earth, which is actually a very low bar, really, when you look at it.
I mean, it's true.
It is a low bar.
But you have to decide what to do with Romans 10:9 first. Like, do you think that that's not the case, that you don't actually have to believe in your heart and confess with your mouth?
Let me just look that up. Was it
Sure.
Romans?
I think it, right? Just am I right?
Romans 10:9 and 10.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus says no one can enter the kingdom without being born of the water and spirit.
Yeah.
Which seems to coincide with Romans. You got to believe in this Jesus fella and his sacrifice on the cross and all that stuff to go to heaven.
When Jesus' disciples were trying to be very exclusive, Jesus told them to be very careful and said, many sheep have I, not of this fold. So he cautioned them against this sort of very exclusive attitude that they were manifesting. Now, Romans was written to Christians, so people who definitely knew about
Hey,
Jesus.
Fuzz, not to interrupt you, but you're like when you're talking into your mic, it sounds like you're like breathing heavily on it at the same time, and it's causing it to peak out. Can you move away just a pinch?
Okay, is that better?
That's better. Don't worry about your volume. I can turn your volume up.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, so I think for Christians, where Romans was written for, yes, you have to confess Jesus because you know Jesus. And if you know Jesus and you refuse to confess him with your mouth, then I can't see that you'll be saved. But what about people who have less knowledge? What about people who've never heard of Jesus? The Holy Spirit strives with all mankind. And if that person is following the sort of influence of the Holy Spirit, then salvation can be argued on behalf of that person.
So
Because
that
they've
just
been
it
made
changes the rules drastically. So, you know, a common Christian teaching is that you like you are sinful and you have to accept the sacrifice of Jesus in order to be let into heaven. Like basically you need, you know, Jesus's blood to cover you in order to go to heaven. And that it wouldn't have been possible without Jesus. But what you're describing sounds like, well, if you already know about Jesus and you believe in him, then you have to talk about him or, you know, really believe in him. But if you've never heard of him and you don't really believe in him, then that's okay. He's not really necessary. Just, you know, listen to your conscience and you'll be okay.
Sounds like we shouldn't tell anybody about Jesus because that seems to be the biggest indicator of getting yourself lit on fire.
that person who doesn't know about Jesus, hasn't heard about him, their salvation is still purchased by what Jesus did. So they're still saved by Jesus. They don't understand it until they get to heaven. They're going to get the greatest surprise. I
Good. We
believe there'll be
shouldn't tell them about
many.
Jesus then. Not a single one of them.
I would say it's a bit like, do you have to go to university in order to be a success in life?
No.
No.
No. So therefore, we should get rid of more universities.
No.
This
No.
isn't a
So-
binary though. Like there are
so
lots
that-
of ways to be successful, but
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I do agree with you. You
Oh,
don't have to
no,
go to
no. So I
university to
think
be
what you've
successful in
missed
life.
is that if I never hear about Jesus, the odds of me going to heaven would be really good then. But
Mhm.
if you tell me about Jesus and then I reject Jesus, now there's a much bigger chance of me just being eliminated in hell.
Yeah.
But what were you communicating about Jesus that you rejected? Did you reject someone like you were given a bad description of God and you rejected
No.
that? Maybe you
No,
rejected
no. We read the Bible, Buzz.
Do you think that God's good or evil in the Bible?
Evil.
And so you're rejecting something that's evil,
Yeah. God.
right?
God's evil. No,
Yeah,
to
so
be
that-
sure, we
that-
don't believe that the God exists. Like that's
yeah,
why
sure.
we don't. That's one of the reasons why we don't believe the God is real, is because it's so evil, and I don't think it's sensible to believe in a God that's that terribly evil, but then also loves us, and that's why the hell topic is so important because it kind of underscores this nonsensical idea that there's this loving Father, but also he's so evil he'll light you on fire forever.
Yeah. Look, I agree. Finite evil being punished by eternal punishment is absolutely unfair. That makes why God worse than any picture of the devil we've made up. I agree.
Oh, so
I'm a Seventh-day Adventist.
we decided
So-
that we all agree then. You don't deserve hell.
I believe that we should be allowed to choose our destination.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we went through this. You didn't actually think we should choose. You didn't think it should just be a choice.
You see, here's the thing. If I go to university, I don't choose to just graduate by saying, hey, look, give me a certificate. And I just walk up on stage and say, give me the certificate. I choose by my daily actions when I go to university to attend the lectures, listen, learn the material, do the assignments, take the exam,
Uh-huh.
Right, you
pass,
earn
and
it.
I'm
You
awarded.
earn it by your works.
Mm-hmm. To be clear, in the analogy, is the university Jesus or heaven?
Heaven. Wait, no. The university is
Getting the certificate is choosing to live for eternity.
So what's the university supposed to be in your analogy?
Oh, it's just the idea that you don't choose by saying, give me a certificate. You choose by making all of these little choices that
Can you
work towards.
choose to do all the work at university if you don't know that university exists?
No, you can still make other choices if you don't go to university.
Right. Yeah. So you can't complete the requirements for class if you go to the address and there's no university there. You look it up, it turns out it never existed in the first place. So like I don't know if this is the analogy you wanted it to be.
and again, you're basing this all on works, right? Like you meet the requirements. You're good enough because you've done all the work to deserve to go in.
That's right.
We don't
The gospel
earn our-
says nobody deserves it. It says it's not by works lest any man would boast. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I got excited.
I agree with that because we can't earn heaven. How do I go and earn the right to live forever?
So I think you have some contradicting ideas here. You are talking about choosing a lot, but then you did say that it's not simply purely a choice of preference. You know, you've talked about do we deserve to be in heaven? Are we trustworthy enough? Are we a good fit essentially for heaven? And so I think like maybe you need to be a little clearer in your own beliefs about, is this a choice or is this a judgment, a judgment or a mercy? Is this about justice or is this just about preference?
I don't think that justice and choice are mutually exclusive.
Well, they can be if I'm choosing an unjust option.
I think I can make choices that show that I'm compatible with well-being and safety, and yet at the same time acknowledge that I can't in any way actually earn the right to live forever.
But the way you described that, you are earning it though. You said, if I make choices that are compatible with heaven, then I get to go. But if I don't make choices that are compatible with heaven, then I don't even have the option of going. That is earning, even if you don't use the word earn.
I'm saying the choice is compatible with, but the choices don't earn. It's not a right, it's still a gift. And so I'm making choices that show that it's not dangerous to give me a gift, if that makes sense.
It's you are saying you are worthy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not dangerous. It's not dangerous to give you the gift because you can be trusted with the gift. You are worthy of the gift.
In the end, Jesus makes us worthy because he, like in the parable of the marriage feast, he gives us his garment of righteousness. Now we can't earn that.
Well, then, so why do our choices? Why do we have to make choices with health and wellness in mind if we're not actually going to be a good fit for heaven?
To be the perfect fit for heaven, we would have to make perfect choices for our whole life. And
so we're a good enough fit. This idea of being a fit for heaven is still throwing me. Like I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Yeah, and he lied on himself too, because you just said earlier you can be imperfect and go to heaven.
That's because Jesus is perfect and he's earned.
Without
Uh,
Jesus.
yes, but the atheist still gets to
So
heaven.
there
The
are
atheist
loopholes.
cooperates.
There are
Yes,
loopholes
because
where imperfect people get to heaven, which means it's not necessary to be perfect to get to heaven.
none of
Listen,
us can be perfect.
I'm sure, Fuzz.
No, there's not a
Fuzz,
single person.
I don't. I want you to when you get time. This
Yeah.
live stream is going to be on YouTube. It'll be recorded for all of history. Listen to it back. See how many times you said something and then later contradicted your own words. Because right now, I'm watching you and Sarah have a discussion, and like you're chasing your tail, trying to navigate this discussion, not realizing that you're contradicting yourself over and over again. And I could be wrong, but I think the audience and myself might be getting a headache over you kind of flip-flopping back and forth on like your actual claims.
See, I'm making a claim that no one's perfect, but if it can be argued that we're cooperating with the Holy Spirit, then God has the right to give heaven to us.
Sarah already told you this works.
Yeah,
Did you not hear
that
her the
is
first time? Sorry,
No,
Sarah.
no, that's not me earning it.
That is.
yeah,
That
See,
works.
it is.
Ma'am, that works.
Yeah,
Ma'am.
Because I'm not saying you. No one's saying you have to be perfect, but if what you're saying is you are good enough, not perfect, but good enough, then you get to go. So the bar doesn't have to be at perfection for it to still be a bar. So the bar is good enough, and if you make enough good choices, then you are worthy of the free gift that God is giving you.
I'm not worthy of the free gift. It's a gift that Jesus paid for. I'll never be worthy of it. But it can be demonstrated that if God brings me to heaven, I've demonstrated I'm going to cooperate with God.
That's worthiness. The phrase you just said, that means worthy. You have demonstrated through your actions that you will, what phrase did you use? That you will be a good fit for heaven. That's worthiness. It doesn't have to be perfection to be worthy.
If I have the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, etc., and Jesus said, "The meek shall inherit the earth," then that's what I believe.
Yeah, so you're worthy. You are
Right.
worthy.
But I can never
So
be said.
you earned it.
I
Congratulations. You did it.
No.
I didn't say you were perfect. I didn't say you were sinless. I said you were worthy.
Just like it makes no sense through a finite life of finite evil, I deserve eternal hell. It also doesn't make sense through a finite life of a finite amount of good, I can earn eternal life. So I can never earn this.
Okay, then you have to go back and cross out most of the things you said about making decisions, because if you can't ever earn it, then your decisions are totally irrelevant.
Yeah, Buzz, this is the chasing the tail I was referring to. You're just flip-flopping back and forth. You don't even realize you're doing it. Like
I'm making a fine distinction between.
It's legitimately becoming like frustrating for me to follow all the flip-flops. Like I'm gonna start writing them down.
I don't believe I'm flip-flopping. I'm making a fine distinction between the choices and earning a gift. Right?
If your choices have any
between the two.
impact, if your choices have any impact on whether or not you go to heaven, you are earning it.
That's all right. Thanks for saying that, because that's the point that I disagree on. I believe that I can make choices that have an impact on the outcome, but the outcome's not earned, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's where we disagree.
Nope. It's a direct contradiction.
Because it's not like, so the metaphor you were using earlier, like, well, gosh, that doesn't even work either. You're not talking about like working towards a goal. Like you are talking about whether or not God decides to let you into heaven. And so if God takes your choices into account when he decides to let you into heaven, he is earning it. Like, you have demonstrated through your actions that you can be trusted with this gift of eternal life. That is earning it. If you couldn't earn it, then God wouldn't look at your actions at all.
I think we've drilled down to the point where we disagree, which is actually quite useful, and that is that I believe that we can demonstrate that we're cooperating with God, whether we know Jesus or we're an atheist, we're following the Holy Spirit, and earning something. So, for example, a child might have been good, and the father goes, "That's great. I'm going to give you a gift," and the father gives the kid a car, quite an expensive one. Now, the child has done some good things. Maybe they've shown that they've learned how to drive, etc. So they've been shown that they can be trusted with the car.
Those are called works.
But they can't say that they've
Those are
earned
called
the
works,
car.
Fuzz.
Sorry?
Those are called works. There's no distinction.
The in that case, the child has earned the car by behaving in a way that demonstrates they are trustworthy. That is earning it.
They've demonstrated they can be trusted with a car.
Right. Yes.
By
exactly.
works.
So now they
Because
deserve
the
it.
car's a gift.
Yes,
The
they
car's a
By
deserve
works.
the gift by their actions.
Respectfully, that's the point I disagree on.
Well, then you'd be wrong then.
Yeah, but yeah, but I think it's very helpful to actually discuss and dig down and find the very point that we disagree on. I think that's
Yeah,
very helpful.
anything that you do that somehow curries you favor or interest with God is called works.
It's
So,
not
so
currying
you,
favor with
it's
God.
okay
It's not currying
if you
interest
think
with
you're
God.
justified by
I-
works and faith. You might fall into the James camp and not the Paul camp. You just disagree with Paul, and that's fine.
See, I believe that James and Paul are compatible.
Oh, they're definitely not. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
Anyway.
So
But can we go back to you
nah,
don't
I think
deserve
we've talked enough, Fuzz. I don't want to do any more flip flopping.
Alright.
We've done it for like the last 30 minutes. I think that's quite
Alright.
enough. But thanks for coming up and chatting.
Well,
It was
look,
nice
thanks
to
very
meet you.
much, and I really appreciate your introspection and attitude.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Have a good
Have a
one.
good night.
Well, that was something. You'll never guess who came back to cry.
What was his name? Oh.
He changed it.
He changed his name to come back?
Now he's so embarrassed he had to change his name to come back.
That's wild.
That's wild. Sarah, what's your curfew?
About now, really.
That's kind of
It's
what I
like-
figured. Well, we got
yeah.
some super chats to read, and then I think we're gonna end it. I'm gonna read super chats while we watch Decker crash out over atheist sending Justa and Sarah super chats. Dark, thank you for the super chat. Says Decker was a real dick. I found the citation. Curious 16 from 2024. Yeah, no, we all read it. I haven't read it, but just wanted to let you know I'm a librarian and annoying like that. No. You're not annoying at all. We saw the article already. It's not in a journal.
Oh,
And-
I thought curious. He was saying like the word, like I have curiosity.
No.
Oh yeah, that's
Look at him crashing out.
published in a journal.
Look at him crashing out. You want me
Oh
to
my
show you
God.
the?
You
Want me to show
okay?
you? He's not okay. Look at him crashing. He's crashing really hard.
That's actually
So-
worrisome.
So it's not actually published in a peer-reviewed journal, but you know what is published in a peer-reviewed journal? I'll show you right here. This article, right here. 1 second. Do hearts store memories? I don't know. Let's look at a peer-reviewed journal. In fact, I'll put it on the screen
Oh,
for
so
you.
he was just citing someone's editorial?
Yeah, and it was a psychology study, by the way. So this is in a peer-reviewed journal called Transplantology by actual medical professionals, and they posit all kinds of explanations for personality differences after various transplants, kidneys as well.
Oh, your memories are stored in your kidney because they have
Yeah,
neurons.
fucking kidney memories now, of course. Yeah, because as it turns out, there are really good biological factors for why someone's personality could undergo changes after a surgery, and it's certainly not because your heart is storing your internal memories. As it turns out, real journals have actually written about this, and they don't agree with you. So you can put that in your pipe and crash out on screen while we read super chats. Oh, well. By the way, her name's Doctor. It's Dr. Sarah to you, just so you're aware. All right. Let's see. Quash says, I mean, if this is the most important book and person in the world, wouldn't they know it like the back of their hand? They don't believe in God just like us. Actually, so this is actually a really good point, because if they truly did believe this stuff, I think all of them would know the book front to back. Because like when Sarah and I were Christians, we read the book endlessly. Like that's one of the things that we thought was like kind of a duty. Like if God's good, and if God's word is like his message to you, you should know the book from the front to the back. But people like Decker never read the book. They're absolute clowns. They haven't read a single word of the book, which is why they come up here and they crash out and make a fool of themselves. And they watch the whole internet make fun of them to their face. Oh, well.
Can we take him down? Yeah, thanks. He's really given me the it's creepy.
He's got some mental illnesses, I think. Rock hard for Doug. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I heard that Doug and Sharon don't have that fire pit thingy. So based on the fact that they don't have a book full of contradictions and holes, I'm going to go with theology. Wait, I'm going to go with that theology. Oh, yeah. Yeah, with that theology. No burnt offerings, actually. Only incense. And you don't have to spill any blood. And Piranha says, rock hard for Doug. Dementia disproves God's purpose care for free will. Dementia people sometimes sin grievously and can't truly be sorry or repentant because they are often justified in their sin by delusion. It actually makes a really good point, because if our memory and thinking capacity was coming from something other than our brain, then we shouldn't be diminished by dementia. We shouldn't lose our memories when our brains go into Alzheimer's and dementia. Oh, well. Charles says, it's hilarious all these Christians claim to be atheists, yet present no evidence. What changed their mind? They are all us, except... They hear all of us ex-Christians and now want to use our phrases? Yeah, it's kind of like this. Here's what I think. Because all the popular... like all the most popular apologists always say what? I used to be an atheist. You know, it's such a good story. And God reached into my life and saved me from my atheism.
I get frustrated when people say that I need to read Lee Strobel because of that. And like, if you know anything about the publishing industry and how you sell pop culture books like that, he may have been an atheist at some point in his life, but I do not imagine for a second that he became a Christian because of the interviews that he conducted for this book. It's marketing. It makes the book appealing.
Yeah, I know. It's all gimmick. And Locke says, "Gay for Justin." Well, thank you, Locke. I appreciate that. And Tim says, "Yay, Sarah is here." Actually, Sarah's not here. I'm there. Or actually, she's here and I'm there because we're live on her channel and my channel. We're live in both channels right now.
Everywhere.
It's fantastic. And Mash says, "Oh my God, Justin isn't backwards." Also, llamas.
Oh, yay, my llamas. Oh, wait.
Usually I have my camera flipped. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's confusing to me. I'm backwards. Can I just say I am not an artist in any way, shape, or form. And I painted this like all by myself.
It's very good.
These are my llamas. And it's by far like I have never created something that I have been so proud of.
It's a very good piece of artwork.
Thank you.
Captain Hammer says, "To warn us of hell, God sent us a carpenter in the backwoods of an empire and left no verified first-hand accounting of his words." Perfect plan. I know. Isn't it crazy that Jesus, being God, couldn't write us his own testimony? What a crazy thing to think about. Obviously, he knew how to read and write. Pat says, I love y'all's camaraderie, like peanuts and jelly time.
Peanut butter jelly time.
That is the case. That is the case. And how you doing, X? Does God send Jesus to hell for timeout when Jesus says he's going to get out of this shit town and go to make a name for myself? I don't think so, but he did go to hell for 3 days.
Yeah, well, a day and a half.
True. Yeah, sorry, a day and a half. Yeah, if we're going to be legit with the counting. Interstate says, hell to me is talking to a religious bigot. Religious people slander LGBT people, especially gays and trans folk. So to hell with religious hate. Couldn't agree more. And Sarah, I don't know like if it was like this for you, but when I deconverted from Christianity, one of the first like switches that flipped in my head, like even before I deconverted, like one of the first switches in my head was like, oh, there's no reason whatsoever to be against like gay marriage and all this. It is purely just religious indoctrination.
Yeah, for as conservative as I grew up, by the time I was in college, and I stayed a very fervent Christian through like half of grad school, but when I was in college, I really was like, why am I supposed to think that this is bad? And it was my kind of one of my more liberal perspectives, even as a Christian, because I couldn't get on board with it. Like it just didn't make any sense to me why that would be bad.
Nonsensical. La Petite Paquette says, just because, rock hard for Doug, simply wet for Sharon. Well, thank you, La Petite. And Kaizem says, Jimmy set me. I assume you mean Jimmy Snow. His live stream must have ended. Well, thank you for coming on over here. And while we're doing this, guys, make sure you go into the title of my video, clicking on Leaving Faith, Sarah's profile, and following her channel. And make sure you're on board with everything she's doing over here on YouTube, not just on TikTok. If you're on TikTok and you are following me, you don't know who Sarah is, it's crazy. Everyone should be following Leaving Faith on TikTok. Bryce Rowan says, if you begin by assuming that everything is designed, then you have no frame of reference to recognize designed. Everything looks designed to Wesley. Yeah, it's exactly the case, right? And Guzman says, followed Jovin's cute Nekonami to get here. What's a Nekonami?
Nekomimi? I
What's
don't
that?
know. I don't know what that is.
Maybe those little ears on his headphones. Anyways, thanks for coming over here from Jovan's place. Big W. And Coffee Mom says, I'm just as respectful to each and every God as that God is respectful to me and non-male humans. Yes. Hell
Well
yeah.
said.
That's
Well
what I'm
said.
talking about. Cameron says, Sarah, thank you for all your hard work.
Yeah, thanks.
Sarah does work hard. Ecto says, perfect, disappointed older sister vibes, Sarah. You nailed it. Absolutely nailed that.
Thanks, Ekta.
And Mo says, happy Sarah disregards 1 Corinthians 14:34. Go Doug.
What's
1
First
Corinthians-
Corinthians 14:34?
Oh, about the women. You know the
Oh, is
the
that I have to
ad-
remain silent?
yeah, the admonition to the women. Yeah.
Yeah, we disregard that for sure.
Says the exact phrasing from the King James Bible, let your women keep silent in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak. Well-
I never did that.
And for the greater good. For the greater
Even as a
good.
Christian, never did that. I always spoke.
And then says God is not pathetic, guys. He just wrote the ending of book 3 where he comes down younger and sexier to defeat a sock puppet he wears on his hand. You nailed it. Yes. He has to defeat the thing that he created to be his own enemy, because that makes a lot of sense. And Mega says, I'm down with Sinner's Heaven. Troll vibes, though. I know, a little bit. But
I realized that too late. But it's fun. Sinner's Heaven is like, yeah, we can do whatever we want. Like
I'd
all right.
party. Yeah.
Right.
Stray says, I kind of want to go to Sinner's Heaven. I don't listen. Who wouldn't? Adele, great to see you tonight. Thank you for the super chat. Said Rock Hard for Doug and I are celebrating our anniversary. Happy anniversary. Big W. Thank you guys for going live to help us celebrate. Love you both. Aw.
Aw.
That's sweet. We love you guys too. I mean, I love you guys. I don't know if Sarah knows Adele and Rock Hard for Doug, but
I don't
they're
know
good
if I
friends of the
do.
channel. You've probably
Maybe.
seen them. You've probably seen them around. Helping
Yeah.
Mega Deconstruct says, DZ, you have never heard of Kola Super Deep Borehole? No. Some Christians claim you can hear hell from it, or they stopped because they drilled into hell. You mean like the thing in the 80s that went around the internet for a long time?
I'm Googling it while you keep
I assume that's it. There was a hole in like the 80s that people claimed that you could hear the sounds of hell, but it was always just like these dumb internet websites that dubbed some dubbed some audio over it.
It is the deepest human-made hole on Earth, which attained a maximal vertical depth of 12,000 meters in 1989. This is all scientific information. Nothing on just the Wikipedia says anything about hearing hell. But it is a big hole.
It sure is. Eureka.
That's what she said.
Whew.
You can't set me up like that.
That's what he said.
That's true. I did it backwards.
We can't take you anywhere.
No, you can't. You cannot take me anywhere.
Eureka says, Justin, Dillahunty says Exodus 21:20 applies to all slaves, not just Hebrews. You disagree. Why stay silent on Wednesday on the line? Because I don't think it's proper in a debate to debate your co-host. And it wasn't vital to the conversation. Like, so even on you'll notice on Sunday mornings when we do the unapologetic, we tend not to debate with each other unless it's over something like kind of interesting, you know. But like Ian and I'm not a Platonist and he is. We disagree on forms. I'm not going to waste time debating my co-host on it. What are we doing? We have a goal in mind. It's to debate against the person calling in. We're on the same team. You guys know that, right? Oh well. And Help It Mega says the callers have all stage 5 Christian brain rot syndrome tonight. That well, yeah. Especially one very angry guy in particular. And Timbo says Decker is the exact kind of Christian I can't stand. Not just you. It's all well, nobody can stand those types of Christians. Never had a bidet. Neither have I. But Beautiful Kitty Cat says, somebody throw this guy a life jacket. He's going under. He's resulting in insults. He's already lost the debate. Yeah. He showed his cards a little sooner than I expected him, actually. Pickle says, Decker allowed his 8-ball snow to give him a false sense of confidence. You mean like the one you shake up and ask questions?
No,
Oh.
Justin.
What's 8-ball snow?
What words am I allowed to say? Illegal substances?
I don't know, guys. I'm a boomer with no street cred. I don't know any of this.
No, I don't know if I'm allowed to. You're on TikTok. I can't say the name. I'll tell you later. It is an
Okay.
illegal substance.
Okay. Gentleman Viking says, so Decker thinks humans created something God can't even conceive of. What a weak God. Actually, that's a fair point. Yeah, God can't conceive of sin, but we created it. And Bob says, listen here, I know better than you, PhD haver. He saw an internet article once, Sarah.
Right. So I'm the idiot.
You're going to have to have your license revoked and your PhD removed now.
To be fair, it doesn't matter. Anyway, go ahead.
Miss Pickle says, Decker has a micropecker. That's a good rhyme. And to be fair, it does explain a few things. Lord Ben says, look at this bozo Decker trying to mansplain science to a PhD scientist. He should be addressing Sarah as Dr. Sarah to show proper respect. I agree. Put some respect on that, for sure. Nailed it says, gay for Justin, but let's fucking go, IU. What's IU?
Indiana University?
Maybe. Is Indiana playing Ohio State? What's happening right now? Hold
I don't
on.
know. I don't know anything about sports.
Let's see. Indiana versus OSU was yesterday. Oh, you motherfucker. You beat us by a field goal? We were You know what? Oh well, at least we're not Detroit. Help a Mega Deconstruct says Decker has a rare case of stage 6 Christian brain rot syndrome. Remember, Christian brain rot syndrome is only a scale of 1 to 5. There, did you learn anything to get a PhD?
Clearly not. I learned nothing.
And Aaron says Decker is Timu Matt Wash. Matt Wash. So full of himself and full of that Christian love. Indeed, that is the case. And Fuzz the cat, you didn't have to donate because you were up here as a
Aw.
guest. Thank you for that. Fuzz was
He was
nice.
very kind.
Mr. Morpheus, good to see you. Said, if hell was created before man, then God created an environment in which he intended to put inhabitants before they were made. Shake my head. Indeed, Mr. Morpheus. I'll never understand Christians who say, well, he didn't intend to send humans there. Well, that's preposterous if he's all-knowing. Allie says, Sarah's so kind and patient. Anyone that yells at her needs to do some serious self-reflection. I agree. That's why I get to be the asshole here. If anyone ever mistreats Sarah, we're going to be fucking people up. Hopium Lady says, what's the most understood verse or version of Leviticus 18:22? So, I mean, listen, it's a notoriously difficult passage to translate, but what I'm going to tell you now is it doesn't mean like adult male with a young boy. That's not what it's talking about. It's not talking about pederasty. That being said, it appears to be some kind of a prohibition against, you know, two dudes. You can take that for what it is. You know, you can do the mental gymnastics you need to somehow say it's not the same as being in a loving consensual relationship, but it's condemning two dudes bedding each other. Nailed it, like the Roman says. Heis Mendoza, who's your dad? Who's your daddy? I'd say sorry, Justin, but 1967 is a long time. Unfortunately, Fernando thanked some dude named God, also Rock for Sharon, and WAP for Doug. Well, we appreciate that. Nailed it. And listen, you can't win them all. You can't win them all. It's just, I mean, especially if you're the Browns and you're just not going to win any of them. Mo says, here's $2. Tell him to back off from the mic. We got there eventually.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did do that.
And Wiz says, this caller is Dr. Conrad Murray, the real McMurderer. I don't...
Mike?
Mike Murderer. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means either.
I don't. Wait, hold on. I feel like I should.
I'm so not cool.
Oh, it's the doctor who gave the substances to Michael Jackson. Like he was treating Michael Jackson when he died.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Andy Pate says the article Heart Mind in Curious is not peer reviewed. Kind of a meta-analysis of anecdotal evidence. That's what I saw. It was anecdotal accounts. Even authors state while such changes have been reported, the topic remains largely unexplored. Love you guys. That's right, Andy. And the article that I found was actually positing answers for the phenomenon that didn't have anything to do with your heart retaining memories. So, like, it's certainly not the slam dunk they think it is. Good question says, Decker is a fine example of a Christian. Hydrocephalus, where water was replaced for hot methane and sulfur gas. What? That's not hydrocephalus.
No, but I mean, I think he's just insulting his brain.
Maybe. The Kumakivi says, I got a kidney transplant and all that changed is now I can pee again.
I'm glad you can pee again. That's good.
That is amazing news. I am thrilled to hear such good news. And Quash, thank you for the super chat. Said religion is a powerful human art form using functional narratives and theoretical rituals like indigenous stories for cultural unity and communal entertainment. It provides profound meaning, but is a construct, not reality. Yeah, I'd say so. There was there's a book I read a long time ago with stories. Meaningful stories. I have to go back and double check. It was a really good book that I had to read when I was in seminary that highlighted how cultural narratives form around stories, not around necessarily data all the time.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that makes total sense.
Because people want to cling to identity, and stories and song preserve identities better than anything else in culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me.
Science lover, good to see you. It says, when do you sleep? Rock hard frogs for shared. Well, I listen, not so secret answer, fucking never. Panoramic Banana says, if Jesus was a carpenter, shouldn't there have been a perfectly made table probably would have preserved, claiming a Jesus original on Antiques Roadshow? That's a fair point, actually. It really is.
I mean, we don't know if he was a good carpenter.
I'm going to say no. If he was a good carpenter, he would have known how to deal with wood better.
Sorry, I'm 12. It's fine.
That's also what she said. It's also true that while Jesus was hung, he and John shared a mother.
Oh,
What did Jesus say when he was on the cross? He said, mother, behold your son, son, behold your mother. They exchanged mothers at the cross. We'll talk about that later. Adele, thank you for the super chat. Says, Sarah, rock hard for Doug and I haven't made your lives, but we are diehard Dougites and rock hard as a special Bible. I think you mean I read that has a special Bible just for y'all's Bible studies. I love it.
Yeah, if
Rock hard
anyone
for Doug.
hasn't listened to our Bible studies yet, and you love Justin and Justin's insight into Bible stuff, we have a series on my page. There's a whole playlist of Bible studies, so definitely check it out if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Charles says, why would anyone want to be a slave for eternity in heaven or hell? Kissing someone's butt for eternity seems like hell in its own way. I do agree with this. On the same vein, Garby Gaiman, good to see your friends, says heaven is dystopia. Pain and suffering are key to 70% of emotions. It also makes soul building meaningless. You won't understand your past struggles. Actually, the Bible says that you'll forget about it.
I hate that. Like, I mean, there's just like that one verse basically.
Yeah.
But the idea that like, oh yeah, you're just going to forget everyone who's not there is horrifying, not paradise. Like, oh, I hate that.
It's pretty bad. Skeptico says, what the fuck would be wrong with automatons and robots? Could they really be worse than rapists and murderers and their precious free will? I agree. I want to take the robots every day of the week. And EK says, I'm feeling sick trying to listen to this guy deep-throating his mic. Be right back, gonna vomit. Sorry about that. We fixed it eventually. Mo says, any mods? Justin, tell him to back off the mic. We got him eventually, friend. We got him eventually. Duke says, Sunday morning live? Yes, we will be live tomorrow morning. A surprise, to be sure, but welcome one. Hi, Sarah. No, Duke. I'm not live Sunday morning. Unapologetic show is live tomorrow. Are you live tomorrow, Sarah?
What's tomorrow? Sunday?
Sunday.
Tomorrow's Sunday? Probably tomorrow night on TikTok.
Heroin.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Unless that person lives in a time zone in which it is morning to them right now.
True. Heroin, thank you for the super chat. And GME says everyone knows memories are stored in the balls. That may not stand up to scientific rigor.
But it's a more enjoyable explanation.
I agree. Susie says, are you and Sarah dating? You two would make a cute couple. We are not dating, but there will be no comments on that during this live stream. iReactor, thank you for the 666, says nerves consist of neurons, ergo, there are neurons all over your body. Does it mean gut actually knows anything, despite what GWB says? WAP for Doug. Actually, this is a really good point. There's neurons in different parts of the body other than the heart and kidneys, isn't there? Maybe not a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a silly goalpost to set. Dark says it's a journal, but it has no impact factor. That's a big red flag. Anyway, you and Sarah are a great team. Gay for Sarah. Hell yeah.
Yay.
We got our first gay for Sarah.
Oh, I'm so flattered.
I love it. This is Gary Horn, says, grateful for this discussion. Still have a fear of hell built in. Sorry about that. I hate that it's this way, and I empathize with these folks. I get it. Being afraid of hell, I deconstructed from hell really early, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time worried about it. But for a lot of people, like, they spend a lot of time worried about it.
Well, yeah, it's like the scariest thing you could imagine. Like, what could be worse than infinite suffering?
That's why they need it. Yeah. Ian says, anything with narrative in the titles, chances are it's lacking a review or two. Yeah. I mean, you can tell the difference.
Like, you can send a narrative review to a reputable journal, but a narrative review is not going to make like discovery claims, right? It's going to be, and like a narrative review isn't even the same level as like a systematic review. So for someone to say that, oh, there is a claim and I can verify that claim, and the only evidence they have for that claim is a narrative review, they have not verified their claim.
No. Luigi says, hello, son of Doug. Nice job proving last night you're the Messiah that fulfilled partial prophecies. Doug bless. Well, thank you. And beautiful cat. I love the chain and dollars on that fancy cat, by the way. Joshua says, Justin, get a bidet. It's an instant 20% life happiness improvement. Listen, your cat is so cute. I might get one just because of your cat. I'm just saying. I've considered it. Wampa says, nowhere else on the internet can you see Who Hash, Elf, and llamas that look like hand puppets throwing up the devil horns. Rock on for Doug. I mean...
Listen, I did my best with the llamas.
The llamas are amazing, by the way. The llamas are really good. Lord Ben says, maybe Decker is desperate to be topped by someone with a bigger pecker when he'll... Okay. There's a lot to take in. That might not be child-friendly, my friend. But thank you for the super chat. Joker says, at least you're not in Detroit. Bruh, you're a Browns fan. Son, get behind me, Satan. Sports are anything. That's why we have OSU. Because when you get disappointed with the Browns enough, you just forget that they exist and go watch OSU football. Ratio says, Dunning, Decker, Picker, a dick bearer, Dunsing, Peck.
It's like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, but, you know, with Decker.
Exactly. What she said. Nailed it says, if it burns when I pee, that's hell. And Luigi says, I was AFK for a bit. Did you see my super chat about being the son of Doug? We did, and thank you for that. Panoramic Banana says, a bone marrow transplant can create a human chimera? No way. Oh, chimera, is that how you say that?
Uh-huh.
As a recipient may have two sets of DNA, their original DNA and the DNA from the donor's stem cells, but no memories. That's interesting. Okay. And Nailed It coming again says, I checked the Bible out once, unlike the priest that gave it to me. It didn't check me out back. Maybe because I wash my balls in holy water.
Oh my
Whatever you do, friends, whatever you do, don't use the holy water in church to wash your balls. Whatever you do, don't empty it out and dump it on the floor. Reverend says, Google 7 paintings, 10 out of 10. See if it's in your area. I don't know what 7 paintings is, but I'm kind of afraid to ask.
I'm going to Google it.
Tim says, last super for the llamas. They do love the llamas. They
Yay. Oh, it's a dinner show. Oh, I think you paint and eat dinner or something.
Oh, that'd be
That's kind
fun.
of cool. Yeah, I like that.
I would do that. We had 2 more super chats. Reverend Nate says, if there are neurons in our guts, we can confirm everyone has shit for brain.
I love a physiology joke.
That is the case, and it's a good one. Last one from Duke Shasta says, I'm from the future. It's Sunday morning here already, but I'm going to sub to Sarah for sure. Such a wholesome person. Also llamas. Fuck yeah, llamas. There is wholesome. Friends, take this opportunity to follow Sarah if you haven't already. I had an absolute blast. I appreciate you coming on Saturday night, Sarah. And
thanks for having me on.
It was a really good time. And friends, thank you for being here with us. I'll be live tomorrow on Unapologetic and then on the line. And make sure you're catching Sarah when she goes live, both on TikTok and on YouTube. And we'll see you again soon, friends.